This and all episodes of the podcast have been brought to you by our generous patrons over at Patreon, the DayZ podcast. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can support the show each week, then please click the link in the description down below to find out more information about Patreon, the DayZ podcast. Thank you for your support. And I just realised I'm going to have to do all of that again because I had both the desktop audio and microphone turned off while I was chatting. So welcome to episode 39 of the DayZ podcast. Second time round, this time with the microphone turned on. We are joined, as always, by Brim. How you doing, buddy?
Afternoon.
Oh, the boomer is making an absolute monster of it tonight. Sadly, our other cohort, Ben, can't make it tonight. He is absolutely flat out busy with IRL stuff. He's asked me to handle the show for him this week, which I'm more than happy to do, because we are joined by a man who I really, really want to have a good old chat with about that amazing mod Base Building Plus. Fourth, how you doing, buddy?
Not too shabby at all.
Good to have you on, mate. Good to have you on. Old Base Building Plus.
Glad to be here.
It was the go-to mod there for a while, and then it kind of fell into a little bit of a slum when the expansion mod came out. But now I'm noticing a resurgence of people coming back to Base Building Plus.
Yeah, it's spiked up a lot recently, and I think it's purely because of us announcing that we're completely reworking the entire mod and adding a whole different sizes, tiers. We're redoing all the models for all the tiers, and we're also splitting the mod as well. So currently the mod has obviously all the base building components in it, but it also has the sofas and stuff like that in it. And with this new version, what we're going to be doing is all of the sofas, the beds, stuff like that, we're going to completely remove them, and they're going to be in a completely different mod. So that way, if people want the sofas, they can have them without having to use Base Building Plus. So it won't be a dependency. So basically, if you want, base items and stuff like that, you won't actually have to use the Base Building mod in order to get those items. So. Okay.
So what is it that you actually do on the mod? Can you tell us a bit about the team behind the mod?
So at the moment there is, I want to say, 4 of us currently working on it, which is me, Chopper, Justo, and Jest. Justo and Jest do the 3D modeling. Justo mainly, he's the one that has made all of the walls, all the frames, gates, and all that, like you see. I handle mainly the UI, so I'm in mainly the UI element of it. Although I do 3D modeling, I'm not currently doing much of that. And then Chopper is pretty much the brains of the whole thing. He's the guy that will handle all the scripting, and he's even, for a couple months while both me and Jester are away, he basically solely handled the mod himself.
Yep.
Which is, I don't understand. It's just ridiculous how he's managed to do that. So that's like the sort of team behind it at the moment. Hennessy does help also with UI stuff, but he's currently busy with real life stuff. Obviously, like COVID-19 and all that lot. So he's got, I think he's got family matters to handle. So at the moment, it's just 4 of us that are currently working on it full time.
Yep. So you do a bit of 3D modeling. So you've been responsible for creating some of the actual walls and all the rest of it.
Well, there's content that we have yet to decide on whether to add that will be in the Base Building Plus mod, but it will act basically as external walls. So obviously now you have regular walls which are 3 meters high. And we were thinking about adding walls around so that you can, instead of having to use the actual base walls, there are dedicated external walls that you can attach barbed wire to, like watchtowers, stuff like that. So if we do decide to go ahead and add that, that's what I'll be modeling. I'll be doing the exterior type of things.
Yep. And have you done any mods yourself?
Funnily enough, I have when I first started, October of, I think it was last year, I released a very, very small easy mod, which was just longer grass. But apart from that, no, I haven't. I've had like loads of projects that I've started. But the problem is with doing base building plus, and then there's other things that I'm dedicated to as well, like work-wise. I just don't really see myself having the amount of time to upkeep a mod as well as base building plus.
Yeah.
Especially with this new version coming out as well, because there's so many elements to it and so many systems that are going to need to be kept up to date. I would rather put all my effort and solely focus on base building plus rather than have my own.
And what about more doors? I've seen some chatter about more doors in your mod.
Well, obviously, Jess and I believe Mungard are the authors of more doors, but we were chatting about adding more doors into into base building plus as well. So that if people want to, they don't have to use the like the doors and stuff for base building plus. They can actually just add the more doors onto it. So it's basically sort of like an all-in-one base pack type thing. So it all depends on whether you can either claim a house or you can build a base inside of a house using the elements, and all the new sizes that we actually have are going to help a lot with that, because where before with base building plus, you'd build inside of a house and you would have walls sticking out the edge of the building. With all the new sizes now, we have, so the regular ones we have in now are 6 meters wide by 3 meters tall. But with all the new sizes, we have 6 meters obviously by 3 meters, 3 meters by 3 meters, and 1.5 meters by 3, which is just solely the door frame and the door itself. So if you wanted to, in a regular vanilla house, you could just put the 1.5 by 3 meter door in, and that would sort of solidify. It fits completely perfectly, and that's kind of what we wanted to do, is add loads of options to the mod where you didn't have to have just walls, doors, all 6 meters by 3 meters. We wanted to add a complete variety, sort of add like more creativity to base building.
That will be a massive one, I reckon, Brim, because at the moment, there's nothing worse than I myself. I'm a big proponent, Brim, of being able to fortify existing structures.
Yeah, it's the way historically I've always sort of done base building myself, whether that be vanilla or using a mod. For me, it's always been about finding an existing structure that I can just fortify and kind of with very little effort make my own, rather than spending the extra time to create all of the different pieces needed and get all the different materials to make a base from scratch. So I mean, I played on a server about a year ago now, excuse me, if not longer in fact, that had the More Doors mod, and it's a perfect mod, and the idea in itself is perfect for especially for big clans and teams of multiple members that all share one base. It comes in handy because if you go for a large building, like one of the apartment buildings, you're not having to, like Forth said, you're not having to worry about bits of walls sticking out in places that it shouldn't. It doesn't look quite right from an aesthetic standpoint. It can get in the way. You can block areas off, which a lot of server owners don't like either. Quite often you find a server will have a don't block off areas rule within the base building rules. So having something like that is really handy, and not least for the server performance as well, because I would have thought having a handful of singular doors with a code lock on them is going to be a lot better than having doors, gates, fences, walls, watchtowers, having everything, having some big mega base that just essentially lags the server out.
Yeah, that's one thing that we have actually improved massively is with all the models of the old ones, they looked good, but they didn't exactly fit into the sort of DayZ type of look. Yeah. And we've sort of taken that into consideration. and we've made everything look a lot more sort of roughed up and sort of like it's just been sort of hammered on together. And another thing that we have taken into consideration as well is to get the lowest poly count possible on the walls. So basically what that means is, like, obviously, you know, when you have a model with the amount of sides the model has, so the game has less to load in. So we're hoping as well that that will also help a lot with server performance. Because I will admit, playing myself, I don't play DayZ much because with modding it, I don't find much enjoyment in it anymore. We're just purely because obviously I'm starting up the game constantly and I'm working on it sort of, you know, 5-6 hours a day. But when I've been on a server with friends, I have noticed that as soon as you go to a base that's currently built with Base 1 Plus, you do start to get frame drops and stutters. And that's one thing sort of straight away that we're all kind of like, right, if we're going to do this new rework this whole new mod, we're gonna need to try and make it as optimized as we possibly can, but also give all the people that, you know, are using the mod as much variety as they can possibly get. And, you know, obviously that's with the new sizes, the new models, and the whole new system we have is actually gonna make it so you can make basically a base like no other. Currently, with Base 1 Plus, you have 3 different models, which is Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. But something that we have been working on for, I want to say, the past 8 months, 7 months, 8 months, is basically now each tier is going to have 3 tiers in itself, if that makes sense. And we're calling them styles. So, for example, Tier 1, it will have 3 styles within it. So Style 1 will be horizontal planks, Style 2 will be vertical planks, and then, say, Style 3 will be logs, for example. So basically, you can pick and choose whatever you want, but what we're going to be doing, instead of having to individually make those kits, it's all coming from the same kit. And you're going to be able to upgrade the frames and the walls that are currently existing. So you could start off at a Tier 1 Style 1 wall, and you could upgrade it to a Style 2 frame or a Style 3 frame, or you could upgrade the panels to a Style 2 panel or a Style 3 panel. So it's kind of, you know, you can customize it whichever way you want. And that is for all the sizes, for all the sizes, and it's for Tier 2 and Tier 3. So there's a lot more models, but they're a lot more optimized. And as they're just proxies, all it basically is, you know, you're deleting the Style 1 barricades and you're putting in the Style 2 ones. So it's not going to add anything extra. It's just deleting something and then loading something.
Yep.
So we're hoping that it's going to help a lot. And from what we've tested so far, it's actually performing a lot better than what we originally thought.
I'm excited for it, mate. I really am, because I remember getting to play with Base Building Plus the first time it got added to the DayZ Down Under server I used to play on, and it was amazing, mate. Absolutely amazing. Loved it. So much variety. It was a little bit janky, you know, with some of the ways to get things to work with each other, but it seems like it's come a long way, because this is, you know, way before before expansion was released. So that's quite some time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about seeing what you guys have done. Have you got any sneak peeks for us of stuff you've been
I actually have, yes. I'd sent a bunch of links to Ben, but I can send them over to you guys as well.
If you just share them on your screen,
yeah.
That way everyone can see them. Just share them in the Discord.
Cool.
And you can talk us through what we're watching.
I remember seeing Base Building Plus for the first time about 2 years ago when I first really got into DayZ myself, started properly playing it, played on a community server that had it on. And up to that point, I'd never seen anything other than the vanilla base building that we used to have. And as soon as I saw that and saw that some of the people on the server had built, you know, big concrete bases and big steel bases and got hatches and all sorts of things going on, floor hatches. I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, see, I only joined, I want to say at the roughly November last year, which is pretty much when I started modding, actually. I had done some stuff when I was younger on Arma 2, like reskinning and stuff, but I hadn't actually done DayZ, so I decided to try and get into it, and I've had a lot of help on the way, especially with Cletus and Halkiana. Actually, Halkiana's helped me out a lot. Any issues I've had, I've always just messaged her, and she's just sort of, shown me how to do certain things, which is, I think, a lot where I've progressed quite a lot because I've had a lot of help from other people. Let's see. Okay, so this here, can you see my screen? Yeah. Yep. So this here is basically the new workbench that we've decided to go with. At the moment, the proxies on the back, which will hold the axe, the shovel, stuff like that, isn't currently on there. I haven't currently added that yet. But as you can see in a second, these are the books that we're having. So basically, what these are replacing is the blueprint. So with me learning how to do UI and stuff, I kind of wanted to bring something new that hadn't really been like done before in Base 1 Plus or in really any mod at all. So basically, instead of where before you had to have the blueprint to be able to open up the UI, this is the same thing, but I've spoken with a lot of different server owners and just players in general, and they've all said that they find that making higher tiers too easy. So what we've tried to do is just from normal, obviously, server owners can configure it whichever way they want, but we've tried to sort of add a variety and try and make it harder from the get-go on if you're on normal settings. So this here is the new book which Jest modeled. And you can see a tier 2.
Oh, you've gotten rid of the blueprints.
Yeah. So we've got rid of the blueprint and we've replaced it with the books. So now obviously I'm going up to the workbench, and basically what you do is you place them in and they just go onto the thing. And this is the UI here now. So basically with all the new sizes that we have, we were trying to think of a way, because when we originally thought of it, we were thinking, hang on a minute, adding all these new sizes is going to add so many kit to the mod. It's going to be ridiculous with trying to do the types. So we were thinking about loads of ideas and in text chat and voice chat and whatnot, and we basically decided that the best way to do it was to have it so it's one kit for all sizes. So now what you'll do is when you hold the kit in your hands, if you click left arrow, it will actually cycle through the kit sizes. So it will do your normal 6x3, your 3x3, your 1.5x3. So it means that, especially for servers as well, they won't have to constantly have loads of kits lying around for people that have, if they've crafted the wrong kit or something like that, because one kit will do all sizes for that object. And that works for tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So we're actually not adding any more kit size, any more different kits in. It's just that one kit, so it's basically just replacing it. So as you can see here, this will have here. It's obviously not done, but here we'll have a image or an in-game image of the wall. Obviously, here will be the description, so what it does, the damage values, the sizes that you can build from this kit. Here we'll have the required materials, so like wood, nails, and one thing that we do want to also add in is required tools. So you will have to have a hammer, a screwdriver, and say a hatchet, for example, attached to the workbench, to then be able to craft the kit, which is part of making the tiers harder to build the higher you go, because at the moment all you have to do is you just put the materials in and you click craft and that's it.
Yep.
But we wanted to make it sort of a more realistic. If you were in if you're in a zombie apocalypse, your tools after building kits are going to get damaged over time, and that's kind of what we wanted to add in. So you can see here as well, we've gone for a sort of tabbed menu, so it's easy to see what you want to be crafting. And all of these look the exact same, but obviously they're going to craft all the different kits. So you can see here, it's just back there. And then what it does as well is when you add another book, it adds another tab up here. So each book will only be able to access that tier. So with the blueprint, where you could access tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, now you have to have all 3 books to be able to access the tiers. Obviously, if you just have a tier 3 book, you can only access tier 3. If you have just a tier 2 book, you can only access tier 2.
Yep.
So it kind of makes it more of a sort of scavenger hunt as well. Before you would have to, look around. You find a blueprint.
Stay on this page for a second. Brim, is Jacob Mango the whore of the DayZ community? Is there anything that guy is not involved in?
Yeah, I think he's getting his way around a little bit, isn't he?
Oh my God!
A lot. I've actually had quite a few people say that to me, to be honest. A lot of people have been like, "Wait a minute, Jacob Mango's on Basement Plus," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Damn, he's in everything."
Is this some sort of
he's
evil
definitely a bit of a
plan
slut
to take over all of DayZ?
Nah, to be fair, Jacob has helped out with he sent us a bunch of new script things, the expansion news, which we will be eventually switching over to, which will make building the mod quicker, testing the mod a lot quicker. Because at the moment what we do is we pack the mod, then we start the server, then we start the client. As with his, we literally just have to press one script and it does it all for us.
Yeah.
So it's going to save us a lot of time, which I'm actually very, very, very excited for, because it is a bit of a pain having to start the server, then start the client, then realize you've done something wrong, and you have to do it all over again. As with his, you can just, within 10 seconds, you find it, change it, save it, boot it up again. So yeah, he's been a big help on that, and Wardog as well. Wardog has also helped with a lot of script stuff as well, which we're going to be adopting, which will hopefully make all of our workflows a lot quicker than what they currently are. So,
Yep.
And then I believe, yeah, that's the tier 3, and then obviously, that adds to tier 3 up there. UI wise, I haven't got very far because I've been sort of sorting other stuff out. But what I do plan to do also is make it so that when you have the books in your hands, you can left click, for example, and it will open up the UI, and you can go through and look at what you need for those objects or for the kits before you even have a workbench. So obviously you won't be able to craft them, but you can see what you need to gather before you craft it. Which we get that a lot in the Basement Plus Discord. Is how many materials do I need for this? What do I need to craft this? What tools do I need for this? So, for a way for us to basically stop all that, we're making it so that the books will have all the information in them. So you won't even really need a wiki. It will tell you, all the tools you need for each tier, in their own books as well, which will be really useful.
Yep.
So that's one thing that I've got to sort of start soon. We don't really have a release date at the moment for it. We're kind of just plodding along as we go, because obviously we've got to update this mod and remake it, but we've also got to update the current one that people are using. So we're kind of switching in between the two constantly, update this part, update that part. And then when, for example, 1.10 came out, a load of stuff broke. So we had to go fix the stuff in that. So there was like a week and a half that we didn't work on the new version. because obviously we don't want to not leave our current version not playable, because that's going to harm server owners and players' experience of the game in general.
Because I was just about to ask, what state is the playable version in at the moment?
At the moment, the playable version has actually had a complete and utter overhaul of the snapping system.
I saw the video on that. It looked really snappy.
Yeah, so now what you do is, instead of having to look at the object, press B, and then enable snapping on, and then switch through the snapping, now all you have to do is you go up to it, down arrow, it will snap, and then you can scroll wheel, and it will scroll wheel through all the different snapping points. And then obviously once you get to your area, then you can just place it down. Another thing that we've also added in is, where before there was a very short distance of where you could place stuff, now you can place from, I believe it's 20 meters away or 25 meters away or something like that. So we probably will end up reducing it, because obviously that's highly unrealistic, but to enable people to be able to build a second high wall and be able to build it, we've made it so that you can build and deploy from further away. This is just showing off, and you can see here, I've got the tier 1 and tier 3 booking, and the tier 2's distributed. So it's basically, when you have one object attached, it will get rid of the other one, and if you don't have another one attached. So another one that we have, and I believe it's here.
I like the way it's got the little tabbed sections in the book as well, so it actually shows which different tier you're looking at, and it actually, and especially with the down the left side, so you got wall, door, frame, this, that, and the other. I think that's actually a really good way of doing it. It keeps it nice and tidy, and keeps it easy to figure out.
Yeah, see, funny enough, I was going to put icons of, a wall, a door, stuff like that. And then Justo, the modeler, said in the Discord, why don't we just do words instead? So wall, door, instead of doing icons, because some people it may not click with some people what those icons represent. And I will admit, I was a bit hesitant against it, because I'm kind of like a little OCD freak about UI and stuff. Because I do a lot of graphics design stuff, so everything I like perfect. But I will admit, when I made the change, I did message him and I was like, yeah, that was a very, very, very good shout. And I think it looks a lot better with it tabbed and worded than what it originally did, because it makes it very, very, very clear to whoever's using it that, this is for the wall, that is for the door. But yeah, on the screen now, obviously you can see the old kits. This is for the wall and door snapping, which I do believe we're going to end up changing the kits, and I'm pretty sure that I will probably end up making new kits for it, because our aim for this rework is basically to completely overhaul everything, redo. We don't want one part of the old mod left. We want to completely remake all the models, the whole. So we basically want it to be a brand new mod. Obviously, just with the same name. So as you can see, I'm picking up the kit, and this is me switching the sizes.
Nice.
So it's literally that easy. You just left arrow switches the kits. So you don't need multiple kits. So for server performance wise, it won't break the server. That's the snapping, which is currently in, and that's me changing. And you can see now, so with this now, with the walls, doors, and stuff like that, you'll be able to build. You won't have to have one side dedicated to one thing. You could build, say, a door here, and then on the left you could build a window, a wall, anything, a half wall. You could build whatever you want. So it adds. Pardon?
Does it adjust the amount of resources needed to build it?
Yeah. Each size will have a different amount of resources. So, for example,
that's very clever.
say for example, a 6 meter by 3 meter wall will have 20 planks. A 3 meter by 3 meter will have 10 planks. So it all depends on what size you build. It will adjust the resources needed, both planks, nails, concrete, whatever. Each size has a different amount of resources needed, which then will also be shown in the book of, for the 3 by 3 walls for tier 1, you will need 15 planks, 10 nails, and then it will tell you also how many what tools you'll need for it and stuff like that. So you can see here as well. Let me just go back to that a second. Oh, hang on. So you can see here as well, it snaps in the middle. So it goes over to the right side and the middle. And another cool part about this is the fact that if you wanted to still have it in the middle, you could have a 1.5 by 3 meter tall wall or a window. So you could have a window on the right side and a wall on the left side. So it adds a lot of customization to walls as well. Before it was one object and one object only. You can now get up to 3 objects on one wall.
Zombie Lee just said on my chat, game changer, and that is, it gives people more control to make the base their own, not just stuck with the same default look as everyone else. You could customize it. Because I was sitting there thinking, one of the things I've always wanted was if you do build like a front door, a side window to open, if someone's outside and they g'day, you're friendly, whatever, and you can just open the side window rather than open the full door and give them full access to your base or whatever, unless you've got a dozen airlocks like most people seem to do these days. But
yeah. On screen here as well, you can see the 1.5 meter by 3 door I was talking to you about earlier for the houses. So you can see this is literally just a door frame.
Well, I even like the other one with the wings on the side, because one of the issues is there's a lot of houses with double doors. So that other one would probably work on most of those as well, just having the one single door in the middle.
Yeah, the 3 meter one should work for the majority of double door houses as well, I believe. We've tried to sort of, we've been going around and we've basically been trying to make it so that we give people, because with current base 1 and plus, it's a janky system, like you said earlier. And it's also people can't build the way they want to. With just the one size, they have to build, their wall slanted or rotated to be able to make sure that it doesn't poke out the other side so that people can dismantle it. So with this new system, with all the new sizes, they can basically build however they want. They can have, whatever door they want, whatever size they want, whatever tier they want. If they want for whatever reason, if they want a style 1 wooden frame that's made out of twigs and a log wall, they can. It gives them a lot of options and a lot more freedom than what the current version does.
So have you got any images of what it's going to look like now once it's built?
I have got, I believe. Okay, here we go. So as you can see here, you've got a wall in the middle, a door in the middle with the walls on the side. You've got, the door here with the 3 meter wall on the side. You've got obviously that one as well. On the roof snapping. Now, this is probably what most people are going to be very, very, very excited about. And I'm quite excited about it as well, to be honest. So I built a sort of a little test area, if you will. So this has been a complete and utter pain in the ass to get work, and as you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble with it here because obviously the system still isn't sort of sloped out at the moment, but we're adding in a whole new roof system, so hopefully you'll be able to have edged roofs.
Nice.
So as you can see here as well, for a brief moment, if I go back, we're making hatches with ladders.
Yep.
So instead of having to have the stairs that everyone has in their bases currently, you're going to be able to have small ladder systems. And these are also going to be able to have stairs connected to them. So if you wanted to, you could have an area that's blocked off like an airlock. But the difference is, instead of having to go through a door, you have to go through a hatch. Up a ladder, so it makes a very good like choke point, if you want to call it that, for base raiding.
Yep.
So it's going to make defending for solo people, because that's another thing we've wanted to do, is we've wanted to try and make an equal playing field for people that don't have a big group on DayZ, and also for people that have a big group, because I have seen on a lot of servers and in the general chat and suggestions that a lot of solo players have said that we need to make something or make a base part that will help solo players, because solo players will build up and then within a day, they'll have a big group come and they'll be wiped off a server. And obviously if that keeps on happening, that person's going to get bored and they're not going to want to play anymore. So this is another size. These are all the sizes I'm just currently flicking through of the roofing. Here you've got a big slanted roof. And then now I'm going to go and grab another roof and I'm going to put an edge piece on. As you can see, I'm having a bit of trouble with it because it's still not
that's fine,
still
mate,
not a
that's
polished
fine.
off system. Still not a polished off system, obviously. We've only really just got this working, actually, in the past, I want to say 2 weeks. As you can see now,
cool, that's you can. It's almost like you can literally build essentially a house for all intents and purposes, rather than the usual bases that we're all used to seeing, where you have to have basically the roof is open. You can basically build your own house.
Or even have it squared off. It doesn't have to be a squared base anymore. If I go and I find, I have got a load of images also. Okay, so obviously here are the books that I showed you guys earlier.
Yep.
These are all the sizes that are going to be in the new system.
So is that like little crawl hatches that you've got to crawl through to get into another area?
These actually you can crouch in if you lean your character over.
Yep.
So we actually specifically added these in for solo people, because this can basically act as a type of like murder hole, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
They can build this on, they can have their main entrance and they can build this on the side with a hatch, and when they open it, they can peer out and it's very easy to move in and out of. So it basically gives a solo a very, very easy point of defending, which I think is honestly awesome. I was testing it out with one of my other friends, and it is very, very, very hard to attack something like this when you really only ever see their head sort of pop out. And then we've also got a 3-meter version of it. We've got the window, and then these are obviously the wall sizes as well here. So you can build this small little hatch frame or murder hole or whatever you want to call it, and then you can build this on top so that it's the same size. It makes it 3 meters then. This is another. This is actually the tier 3 models that are going to be one of the styles. So you can see all the sizes here also. Now this is the roofs built, what I was showing you a minute ago with the snapping. This is with it all built. So you can see here that, it's pretty much snapping together perfectly. The stairs are working as intended as well. Obviously these aren't the finished models. These are just placeholders at the moment. That is all we're using at the moment. It's just placeholders to get the system working. And then all we have to do is pretty much swap them out. That's it with the holograms all set out. Now this is style 2 of tier 2. This is the new one of the new models that is going to be added in, which I think this is a lot better than the current one. It's a lot more worn, a lot more rusted.
That an average person could probably hack together with a guide. It doesn't look professional. It looks nice and crappy, but still secure. I really like that model, mate. That is a beautiful model.
Yeah, this is Justo's work, and I got to say, Justo is incredible with what he does. The one very, very small detail which he added in, which I absolutely love, is these little metal plates that he added that are rotated onto the front of it. It doesn't add much. It doesn't it doesn't look like much, but I think it adds a lot of character to the model, and the fact that it's also got rust stripping down on the top as well and on the bottom. It sort of it gives it like a sort of weathered effect, like someone has gone to some shed or something and just ripped the sheet metal off and sort of hacked it together. This is style 2 of tier 3. So these are going to have, I believe, the metal frames. So we're adding in new materials as well. We're adding in plywood, squared pipe. I believe we're adding in half logs as well, I believe, as well, that will be craftable. But this is obviously
in both of our chats saying that this has got a lot of inspiration from Rust, and they're saying that as a compliment.
Actually, funny you say that. I'm actually quite a big Rust player and a big fan of Rust. And that was actually one of the initial ideas, especially for this. When Justo made this, I was blown away, and I'm like, that looks exactly like the mid tier for Rust. And I don't know, I absolutely love it. This is the stairs attached to the hatch that I showed you earlier.
Yep.
So you can have a wall built across the back and have it so that, I don't know, say this is your loot room behind, for example, and the only way into it is through this hatch. So it's a really easy place to hold. These are obviously the front of the books here. That's the bench with it attached. And I believe that is all I've got at the moment.
Okay. I would be very, very remiss if I didn't ask this question for all the base raiders out there. How is base raiding going to work? Are these going to be like expansion walls and like vanilla walls, which you can fire enough bullets and you'll penetrate through? And do you have rough figures on how much in the way of explosives or in grenades or something's going to get through the different tiers and so on? Or is that something you prefer to keep a mystery?
Currently where we're at, I believe we're close to pretty much getting the vanilla sort of style in where you're shooting the walls, but we don't currently have any figures set on what we are gonna basically make it, for C4 grenades, rounds. We don't currently actually have any figures set. One thing I do know, which I think we do want to do, is for each style, the amount will go up. So, for example, style 1 of tier 3 will take, say, 1 C4, and style 3 will take 2 or 3 C4. And that's the reason we added in the styles, so that each tier you build is a very, very small sort of increase, but it makes a big difference.
Yes.
And that could be the difference between you surviving a raid or being completely and utterly wiped off the server. So that is one thing we have considered. We've taken a lot of time, and it's been since when I first joined, they were talking about a rework, and then about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months after, then we properly started planning everything out. Justo started working on all the models. A lot of models have been completely redone. I know tier 3, I believe, he had completely different models made, and then decided to completely remake them. So it's been a lot of like, do you guys like this? Do you guys not? Let's completely remake this. And in general, the whole folder structure of the mod, all the systems have been completely revamped. So it's been a lot of work that's gone into it behind the scenes,
Mate,
which
it shows. It really does show. Brim, you're being pretty quiet there, but I can see you nodding, just looking at this, going, "Yeah,
yeah." It's definitely, that's the thing, is for me, I love base building. I haven't built a base in quite a while, so this is quite good. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on this at some point and actually seeing what I can make. Like I say, my whole base building thing is take over an existing building and just stick a door on the front and hope for the best. So
I don't know whether you're looking at the chat sport.
yeah,
But Miss Foos
I
just
spotted.
burnt Brim. Said Brim's just dreaming of that glory hole.
Oh, God, she's
You
not
want to
wrong
get into
either.
my base? Walk up to this little hole, motherfucker.
But yeah, no, I'm honest. I'm honestly the same as Brim, to be honest. Like,
What, you want a glory hole as well?
Well, not quite. But I would, I'd stick a door on a existing house, throw down a small little like storage container, and just hope for the best. Basically, hope that when I come on tomorrow, it's all still there and intact and not taken by someone. So
ETA on release.
now that is kind of we're aiming. I can't really say we're aiming. We're not really sure on when it's going to come out because obviously, with people coming and going, with development and stuff like that due to online reasons, COVID and stuff like that, and family issues. I believe we were thinking around to the end of the first quarter of next
So
year.
around March, April then.
Yeah, I think it was something about, because the thing is we would basically want to make sure that the whole thing is polished and has the least amount of bugs as possible, because I know there's probably a lot of people in both chats that have been using Basement Plus and have experienced a lot of bugs. And when you're experiencing bugs with bases and stuff like that, where I don't know, say a part's despawning, or it's not when you dismember a kit or whatever, it disappears. We want to try and get rid of everything like that. We want to have the least amount of bugs as possible, so that when it releases, it's as smooth as it possibly can be.
Yeah.
Don't
rush it, mate. Take your time and release it in a state you guys are going to be happy and proud of.
Yeah, what I think we're probably going to end up doing is I'm probably going to end up renting or buying a server. And when we get closer to the release date, obviously this will be when we get closer to release date, I'm going to start loading the mod onto a server and trying to get as many people to join as possible, and basically give them 5-6 hours just to fuck around with everything, for suggestions, any improvements, and honestly mainly for finding bugs, because at the end of the day, we make the product, but it's the community that's going to be using it, and it's the community that's going to be having to deal with the bugs if they do find them. So we want to sort of try and iron them out as fast as possible, and the community obviously testing it and playing around with it is the best way to find the bugs, to be honest, rather than us go in for hours, because we're not going to find all the bugs ourselves. So the more
what
people,
else can the
probably
community
the better.
do to support you guys?
I mean, if they would like to, obviously, you don't have to, but we do have like a Patreon and stuff that we are trying to work towards to get a server. Obviously, if we don't get enough money, I'm going to be paying for it myself anyway. I've sort of set my eyes on that.
We'll put it in our chats now, and make sure you send it to the guest channel, and I'll make sure I attach it to the video as well, so people can know where to donate if they want to support, because I think a lot of people are becoming aware of just how much time and effort goes into this. And on this show, we've always been big Brim in saying that there's nothing wrong with you guys making a few quid, even if it's to buy yourself a fucking bottle of Bundy rum or bloody whatever, to have a few drinks when you're finished, because a lot of time and effort goes into this. And even the unintended consequences, like I actually thought it was quite sad that you don't play the game much anymore, just because you deal with the technical side of it so much, so it's lost its appeal for you in that regard. I hope to God you're not modding on Rust and you're just enjoying the game as it is.
Oh yeah, no, DayZ's the only game that I mod. DayZ is actually the reason I originally actually got a computer when I was younger. I went over one of my cousin's houses, and he had a computer back then, and he had Arma 2 DayZ. And I was messing around with it, playing around with it. And this is, bear in mind, this is when I was 12. And when I was 13, I asked my parents to get me a laptop for Christmas. And that's when DayZ got released around that time. So I got DayZ, and pretty much the reason I got a computer in general is because of DayZ. And I can say now, I'm pretty sure if I didn't play Arma 2 that day or see DayZ in general, I probably wouldn't be on the team or even have a computer today, to be honest. DayZ has been a lot of sort of my growing up and whatnot, and I've met a lot of really good people as well through the community as well, and a lot of other modders especially are very, very, very helpful. You ever have a issue with, for example, Basement and Plus, we've had Damon Forge. He's joined our team. He's a very, very, very talented individual. Cletus has helped me with stuff for UI. Helkiana, again, has helped me for stuff as well. I think in general, really, it's when the community comes together and they all help you out, it means a lot.
I love hearing all those names. We joked about Jacob Mango before, Brim, but it's great hearing these same people's names that you just see. They're proving themselves to be good people of the community, helping each other out. Hey, Brim.
Yeah, like you say, we see Jacob Mango's name popping up everywhere. I've noticed Helkiana's name popping up quite a lot in a lot of places nowadays, and it is really good to see that we've got so many people that are being selfless with their time and with their knowledge. They're actually going on and helping other people and saying, look, this is how I do things. Maybe you want to do it that way, rather than just going, nope, I'm going to keep everything for myself and sit on this information. There's actually people like that out there that are going out and imparting their knowledge. So it's only going to make the DayZ modding community and modding in general, a lot better and a lot stronger for a long time to come. And I think we've seen it with Namalsk coming out, and the different people that were involved in helping out with that release as well. It's it's really good to see a lot of people really helping each other out rather than being selfish about it. It's really good.
Yeah, especially with modding, I would say, especially for big projects, servers. I mean, Ben could probably say the exact same and agree with me. Modding and running a server at the same time is a second job. It is honestly a second job. I get home from work after a 9-10 hour day, come on my computer, and I'll message Chopper or something like that. And, I'll look in the bugs channel, and although I don't really respond much, I'll look through, see the bugs, and then I'll be working on it until, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I go to sleep, wake up again, go to work, come back home, modding. So it is basically a second job that we don't necessarily get paid for. But with the satisfaction for me with modding is when I make something and I see all these people and all the, at the moment we're at 630,000 subscribers on the mod, which is unbelievable to me. I never thought that it would make it to 300,000, let alone over 500,000. And when I go into the comments and I see that people absolutely love the mod, all the videos as well, live streams you see, when people comment good things about it, and I can see that people are enjoying themselves, all these hours that I spend and Chopper spends and everyone on the team spends, all that it makes it satisfying, and it makes it worth it, because you can see that your work is making a difference for the game and the community. And I think that's one of the reasons why we all put in so much effort that we do. And I'm pretty sure that goes for all modders, to be honest, is that they enjoy the satisfaction of making content for people and watching everyone enjoy that content that they're putting out there.
I like what Miss Fu said there, Brim.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, exactly. And I
Yeah.
can't imagine, because like I say, I know nothing about modding, about how to mod anything or do anything like that. So I'm always in awe whenever we have a guest like you come on to show us these things. I always sit there and go, fucking, I wish I could do that to a degree, but it must be really satisfying. Like you said, you've got so many subscribers on the Steam Workshop for the mod. It must be really exciting as a player as well. Anytime you do get a chance to go and play, you bump into someone or run, you're running through a field and you spot a base and go, oh, I made that wall. That must be what it's like for, for musicians to sort of go into HMV and see their CD sat there, or an actor go and see that their film's up in a cinema or something like that, or on a DVD on Amazon or something. It must be really cool to spot that and go, I know that because I did that. That's my work in the world. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It is like that a lot, to be honest. I do hop on to servers, like I play with Ben every now and then, and we're just running around doing PvP and stuff, and then I just see a base and I'm like, me and my team built that. We're that we're the reason that's in the game. And when you see that, it's kind of like, sort of like, holy shit, like this is awesome. When you see how many servers are actually using our mod still, even though expansions come, because obviously I would still say the expansion system, like the snapping system in general, is a lot smoother. But I think it's the sheer fact that just the amount of customization we have, and the new version is going to bring even more customization. We're not just bringing new sizes, but we're bringing all new models, all new styles. So I'm honestly, when the day when it releases, no one will see it, but I'm going to have the biggest grin on my face, because I know that all these, pretty much, I would say a year of working on it is going to be completely and utterly worth it. And I'm really hoping.
I've been sharing your Twitter and everything like that in both of our chats, mate. So when it does finally go live, make sure you go in and post up something so people can come in and congratulate you, mate. Like, I don't know whether you were in the chat when Adam released Namolsk, but that was, one of the highlights of my DayZ time, was seeing so many people in there watching the countdown of it and that, and people just congratulating him on basically reinventing DayZ to an extent. And you're sort of doing this with base building. Base building plus, I've used it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was a bit clunky and fidgety, and had to watch the videos to learn how to get things to snap and all the rest of it. But it's great to see this, because I love the freedom of choice that people can use. Mix and match and slope roofs, and it just. I'm going to give you a challenge, though. There's two things I think you need to add.
What's that?
One is a trading window. So basically, for traders, I know a lot of servers like to have a human trader. And one of the big issues has always been, where do you do the trading? So if there could be some sort of thing where you attach a barrel, it gets built into the wall, or some sort of crate they can build, like a sliding drawer, they can put the stuff in, you take it out on the other side. Some steel bars, sort of, that you view the customer through. And the other one, and this is one I think that will appeal to a lot of people. Now, one of the biggest gripes I hear is people complaining about offline raiding. And there's nothing you could really do unless you have strict rules on a server. But what's offline? With people playing from all around the world on different servers, offline to you is online to someone else. So I would love to see a system of base defenses, whether it be booby traps, basically incorporating a landmine into a floor so that the person who built it knows that there's a mine in that section of the floor, or explosives, a booby trap, use an electrical kit, and you can rig up a certain door to be a fake door or a fake window, or something like that. The idea of a base being able to defend itself to a certain, Foxy's writing there, shotgun traps would be good as well. But yeah, just something that you can do to provide a offline defense to your base, so that there's a risk that when you raid that base, you may die raiding it, even if there's no one in there defending it. I don't know if that's even possible, but I know that's probably a big, big thing, but that would blow people's minds, I reckon.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. The whole trading window thing I have actually discussed with some people, and that will probably be in the separate item pack. Just because obviously with all these sizes coming in and the models, we don't want to make the mod absolutely huge.
Yeah.
We want to try and keep it, as small as possible, so that it doesn't take people 20 minutes to download it, or
and
15, 20 minutes to
AI
download
traders have no need for a human trader, so they're not going to really be interested in that item. So that makes perfect sense. An add-on mod that you can install if that's what you want for your server.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing as well with the furniture. Obviously, the only other really furniture mod I know that's out there is probably Halkiana's Much Stuff pack. And our item pack will basically be like an addition to that, if that makes sense. So it'll have, the sort of similar things, but it will have the stuff that is in the Base Building Plus mod currently. So nothing will really change from it. It's just we're just splitting the pack to make it easier, so that if server owners want to use expansion building, they can, but they can also use the sort of the decorations and stuff from BWP in the server without having to actually install another base building mod, just to use it. It's also going to help
in my chat as well. There's grenade traps on mods. I know Helkiana's lockers have grenade traps, so that's another easy one. Incorporate a grenade. If a wall gets taken down, a grenade drops. So if the attackers are too close, then there's a chance they're going to run onto the grenade as it goes off.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very good idea. That's what we could probably incorporate that maybe into the like gates and hatches and stuff like that, which would be pretty cool. I'm trying to find here we go. So just to show you guys, got Brim over here. This was one of the plywood ones we were originally going with.
I like that. Again, I like that.
Looks like it's all been salvaged by a survivor in a zombie apocalypse. Looks exactly as it should.
Yeah, it looks like it's like someone's gone onto the interior of a house or a roof, and they've sort of ripped it off the roofs or the walls and stuff like that to take it with them, which I really, really like. And that's the door one there. You can see the the planks and the plywood, and it's all different colors as well and different textures. So it sort of adds the whole sort of meaning of DayZ of scavenging to sort of survive,
Yes.
Which I think's very, very, very cool.
I'm actually funding with some generous donations from people as well, a mod similar to this, but furniture-wise. I've always felt that the furniture that you craft shouldn't look like it fell off the back of an IKEA truck, and should look like it's made from stuff in the game as well. So it's very, very slow progress at the moment. It's being the models are being made by Windstride. So the sort of quality you're going to get if Windstride's making it.
Top quality.
Yeah. So that's why it's taking a while. But yeah, I wanted to actually talk to you guys about using your model for your workbench. Why reinvent the wheel when there's a perfectly good workbench out there, and implementing that workbench for the same sort of purpose. So you attach things to it to be able to craft the different items.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't see why they would have an issue against that, to be honest.
Because I love this. I love this personal, this rustic sort of hacked together by the average survivor. It's just, Zombie saying in my chat, scavenger-like vibe is solid. And again, we're settlers in a deserted area, so it's kind of obvious. It looks fantastic, mate. It does, it kind of goes with that argument of, how many people could fly a chopper, how many people could build a perfect wall like the walls are at the moment. Not many. Most of us are just going to be slapping as much shit on and hammering it in and making it stick. This looks fantastic, mate. I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and it's surprising actually, really, how much planning it's taken. Because when we first started, it was sort of ago. It was sort of like just a sort of idea that we had just imagined, you know.
Yeah.
And then we realized, like halfway through making it, we're like, wait a minute, holy shit, this is actually, you know, we're actually doing this. Like, we're remaking everything with all new models, and yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to Justo, to be honest, because he's the main modeler, and he's been working his ass off, like, you know, day in day out, sort of making all the. And he's, bear in mind, he's the only one that is making all these walls. This is all just with furniture and stuff, with, you know, other modelers like Windstride, for example, or Mungard. I'm pretty sure they both use a program called Substance Painter, which you can select what parts of the model you want to color in. He's done all of this just through Photoshop. So he will just have green lines that will have, you know, a square or stuff like that, and he basically has to figure out what's what. Which also completely blows my mind. I could never ever, because I personally also use Substance Painter, and I could never ever use Photoshop because it takes so much longer. But with that, you can add in so much more detail to the models as well. But yeah, Justo is incredible, and he has, from what I know, he has no knowledge, no actual schooling knowledge of modeling at all. He's just learned it through YouTube videos.
Amazing.
Which actually is the same for all of us. Chopper didn't know how to script or anything like that. Base Builder Plus is basically his project to learn how to script. I'm the same. I started about a year ago now. I had no knowledge of how to script, how to 3D model. It's just sort of, you know, we've sort of realized, we need people to do this. So, you know, just watching YouTube videos, asking people like Helkiana, Cletus, Jacob, stuff like that on like what the best approach is. And the thing that I like about it as well is they don't always give you the direct answer. They give you small pieces so that you have to figure it out yourself, which in general helps a lot with learning. I found personally. I think I've learned more in this year of modding on Base 1 Plus than I have like any information in school, if I'm being honest with you. It's been, I don't know, it's a very, if you want to get into modding, you have to invest a lot of time into it and you have to be dedicated to it. But it is 100% worth it when you get to a point where you can basically do anything. It's 100% worth it.
These youngins blow our minds, don't they, Brim?
Yeah. I think I've said it before as well, haven't I? That you get a lot of these guys, like, you know, other content creators as well, guys like Rav Plays and people like that, that, you know, you look at these guys that have been, these names that have been in the community for years. I mean, everyone knows who Base Building Plus is. Everyone knows that Base Building Plus exists and has done for several years. But then to find out that the, you know, people behind these things are so young and yet still so talented and able to do these things that other people like us can't at our slightly advanced ages, you know, it really is impressive.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people as well, because I've seen a lot in Discords and stuff like that about people wanting to learn how to mod and stuff like that, and that they haven't really found any information, because apart from maybe two people I can think of, there aren't really any videos out there on modding. The way I started off was just retexturing clothing, but that's why I have recently been thinking about making videos, like little tutorial guide type things, like, you know, short little 10-minute things on, you know, how to retexture clothing, how to make a weapon, how to make a sight for a weapon, how to make a backpack, a base storage locker, so that people have something to go off and actually to learn from. That it's going to be like, you know, step by step. And, you know, stuff I do might not be the completely right way, but with time of people learning that, they can sort of, adjust it to their own. Everyone has their own sort of workflow. People will do, sometimes people will do the config first and then the model, or they'll do the model then the config. But my idea is to basically just make a bunch of videos to try and help those people out that want to get into it, that don't really have any knowledge like I did, I want to kind of be there to help those people to what I had with, Halkiana,
Cletus. If you do, mate, you let us know and we will plug it for what it's worth. We're going to have a small audience that watches this, but we will share it. And, we've got followers on Twitter, and we know a lot of people, and we'll get the word out there, mate, because, I just had a comment in my chat about that, that someone wished there was stuff out there. I know Matthew Longtime's done some videos, but it's been a long time since he did one. So I think a good series of A to Z on how to get into it, and pointing to the resources that you guys used, and even pointing them to places like the Modders Discord. Not a lot of them know that exists, and that there's a lot of information sharing that goes or goes on in that Discord. I think that's absolutely fantastic, mate, and it says a lot about you that you're prepared to do videos like that. I think you'd find there's a lot of interest from the community out there, and there'd be a lot of people willing to, you could probably even do your own segment, getting on some of the likes of Windstride and stuff like that to talk about what they do.
Yeah, exactly. That is the one thing with a lot of people usually want to start off with clothing and stuff like that, which is a very, I would honestly say, people say UI is the hardest area for DayZ modding, purely because of the amount of code and stuff that goes into it. But I would honestly say that clothing is, because you have to do something called weight painting, which is you basically have to paint certain areas a certain color for it to snap onto certain bones. And if you don't do it perfectly, then you get stretching in the model and the texture, which I'm not 100% actually, I'm not the greatest at that, but I'm going to try and get better so that when I do make the videos, people can actually do it.
Again, I take my hat off doing Brim. I can't even, I still draw stick people when it comes to my art ability, mate. So I take my hat off doing weight painting, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, well, it basically what it means is that it will stick to the model. So when your character turns, the model will turn with it. That's basically what it means. But one thing I am actually in the process of doing as well, because I've been thinking about making these videos for a while, is I'm currently now in the process of using Blender, because I currently use a program called 3ds Max, which I believe is what Windstride uses as well. But it costs a lot of money each year. It's roughly about 1,800 a year. So for me to basically make it so that anyone can mod, I'm learning Blender currently, because it's obviously a free resource. And that's what I want to do, is make it so that people don't have to invest any money into it. I personally just buy 3ds Max because it's what I'm used to. It's what I learned off.
Sounds like this is your hobby, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing, is when people have asked me to do stuff for them, like Ben has asked me to do stuff in the past, and although I haven't done much for certain people, I've just done retextures. I've said to them, I don't want to be paid for it, because when you get paid for something, it's not a hobby anymore. It turns into a job because you're being paid for it, and I don't want to make my hobby a job. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I know I guess it's a weird way of thinking. I know there's a lot of people that still find modding a hobby even though they get paid for it, but I kind of just, I want to try and help people out. And even though I'm not, the best modder out there by far, or the biggest name, I still would like to try and help people. Even if it makes a very small impact on their server, it's done something for them that otherwise they would have to pay for. And a lot of these small services and communities don't have money to spare, and that's another influence for making all these videos as well.
Look, on that's very, very noble, and I salute you for having that opinion. But at the same time, I think it's good for you to have the option there, because like I myself, I like to as I said, I still draw stick people. My level of coding is limited to maybe playing with XML files and JSONs and stuff like that. That's about the level that I've got. And I applaud people like you. And I know there's a lot of costs that go into this. And if there's ways that we could help you continue doing what you're doing, then don't be afraid to leave that option there for people to donate, just maybe a $5 or a $10 or whatever they can spare to help share the burden of, what did you say, 1,800? Was that pounds? 1,800 pounds?
Yeah.
Fuck
so like you
that's like 3,000 Australian
I was
dollars.
gonna say you can double that to convert it into Aussie dollars. Yeah.
Luckily, because I have just actually finished university this year.
What'd you study?
So I did computing stuff. So I did server deployment and server setups. I did website.
I need a server admin. I'm joking.
I did a lot. I did like server deployment stuff like that. I also did web development.
I need some help with my website.
I did quite a lot of stuff. I used I did a lot of like architecture to like learn about 32-bit, 64-bit, motherboards.
I need
RAM,
some help with my
frequencies. I can help you with computer stuff. I'll tell you that much.
I was actually more referring to the fact that I ate one of these, and then forgot to wash my hands and went to the toilet, so I'm still kind of burning.
Why on earth would you do that to yourself?
Because I'm a fucking idiot.
Why would you even eat one of those?
I had them gifted to me, so yeah, I've got a plan for how I'm going to use them. We were going to do a big fundraiser next week, but that's not going ahead now, so I have to find a use, and they dared me, and someone donated $20, so I kind of had to do it. And fuck me,
yeah, you have to do it.
They are hot.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
That bar of chocolate that I got, the spicy chocolate, still sat in my refrigerator. It's I refuse to. The thing is, every like hot sauce or spicy thing I've got, anytime I order a curry or anything like that, I look for the word mild because that's what I want. And then I get these hot sauces and they say mild on the bottle. And then it's like in the bottom, oh, here's a free chocolate bar. And the word extreme is written in bold, bright red lettering. I'm like,
they look so innocent. They look so fucking innocent. This is what they
just
are.
Looks,
like a nice corn chip. Moonshine checked it out. They're 1.5 million Scovilles.
You look like you're a drug dealer dealing in Doritos.
No, because I didn't want to open it just to eat one chip. And I said, do you reckon they'd hold if I put them into a Snaplock bag? Because I was curious as to how many are in the packet, and it looks like about maybe 20 chips per packet. So
that'll be a while then.
But the worst part of it is it says on the back of the box. I don't know whether you can read
consume.
If you have gastrointestinal problems. I suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, so I'm fucked. I am fucked. And yes, I am going to be putting the bog roll in the freezer.
I was about to say, just like Miss Fu said, enjoy the ring of fire.
Oh.
Boydie's wife's moving into a hotel for the next 3 days just to get away from the horrific sounds that are happening.
And look at all this evil shit down the bottom there, all this little powder and.
You got to get the dust. That's the good stuff.
No, I'll pass on that. On that.
Oh my god,
mate, this is amazing what you guys are doing. Brim and I, we're constantly amazed at the level of skill and talent, and just. Yeah, like I said, you guys are doing this, and you start doing something not expecting to make any money out of it, and that just it blows my mind that there's people out there who are happy doing this sort of stuff to make the experience better for all of us in the gaming community. Hey, Brim.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. The fact that there are so many people that are willing just to. Set aside their own time. Like you say, you go and you do a 10-hour shift or whatever at work and then come home and work on these things, all basically all for the love of doing it rather than expecting to be getting any sort of, kickback for it. It's great to know that there are a lot of people like that in, not only in the community, but in the world that are making it a better place, and not expecting anything in return. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I think the thing is with it as well is it kind of shocked me with like learning all this stuff is you actually learn a lot through doing all of this. Like, you know, if I didn't do any modding, I wouldn't have learned texturing, I wouldn't have learned 3D modeling. I wouldn't have learned really, even though I'm not the greatest scripter, I wouldn't have learned any scripting, you know, any graphical type of work or organization work, you know, UI. So it kind of goes two ways. You know, you make something for the community, but you're also learning a lot yourself, which can actually better you as a person, because you can use this in different real life experiences. You know, like I know one person actually that had worked on stuff in Arma 2, and he had done sort of graphical work and whatnot, and he actually works for a graphics designing company now, just through his experiences of making stuff for Arma 2. So it can, you know, even though people sort of look at modding as it's like a small, you know, short time little hobby, it can actually escalate into an, you know, an actual job. Which I think is absolutely awesome.
Are you willing to take on an apprentice? Because I've got just the guy for you. His name's Moonshine. He's got a really, really good gaming PC now. And I think this would be a great thing for Moonshine to take on as a side hobby. What do you reckon, Moonshine?
I reckon Moonshine would have a good laugh at that. I think he'd actually be quite good at that.
Oh, I think he should. I think he should.
What kind of stuff is he into? Is he into graphical work, or is he into modeling work, or?
Moonshine's one of my best mates. Earlier this year, we did a GoFundMe and bought him a new gaming laptop. He was playing DayZ on a 10-year-old laptop without even a mouse. He would use the trackpad as a mouse. Yeah. And he did do a degree in something to do with computers when he was at university. But yeah, he's got a lot of spare time in his hands. So I think we can get him signed up as an apprentice for you. He cheated through coding class, is his claim to fame.
I'd have to as well.
The funny thing is, actually, you say about that, Chopper is in the exact same situation. Chopper, which is literally the one that has been, you know, he's partly been solo developing the mod for like, you know, I would say a good 6-7 months when people haven't been here. He's got 8 gigs of RAM. He's got a CPU that can, I think, well, from what you told me, can barely run DayZ itself, and a 960, and it's somehow somehow surviving. I have no idea how. I don't even know how he's getting all this work. I know before he's messaged me and he's like, you know, I've just done all this work and my computer's crashed and I've just lost about 2 hours of work, and I'm just there like, oh, rip. So it's a lot. I think there's quite a few people that I actually know that just use laptops. I know one person actually that uses a Mac. They somehow mod stuff on a Mac, which I have no idea how.
A laptop. He made them all. He's got a laptop.
I can't. I don't understand. I can't believe that. I would never think of, unless it's a very, very, very powerful laptop. But the very, very powerful laptops are normally double the price of a very good desktop.
Yeah.
Because obviously how compact they are and the design of them and stuff. But I will admit though, when the mouse came out, it must have been 3 months since I'd booted DayZ up like to play, and as soon as the mouse came out, I loaded it up and played with a bunch of mates, and the amount of nostalgia that came back to me from playing it before, and you know, I've got some friends that I've known on the computer. They're actually the same age as me. That are, you know, we were 12 when we all met on a small server, and playing the mouse again, it brought back so many memories for all of us. And I feel like it's what DayZ needed in total, is, you know, something like that to come back, because it was such a big part of Arma 2. And it coming back to DayZ is, well, the amount of people that have come back, you know, Shroud was playing it with 30,000 viewers. Summit was playing it. I mean, I don't think I've seen DayZ in the top 10 on Twitch in a while, and I believe it was 6th or 7th, which I was just completely blown away how much one map can make such an impact on a game. It was just it's mind blowing. I don't know,
a bit like what you guys are doing with Base Building Plus. You're reinventing it. Sumrak didn't just go with the tried and proven formula that he had. He reinvented the Molsk as well and added stuff in to, keep people guessing. And oh my God. And, he was smart enough as well to realize that not everyone wants the full, survival crazy experience. Some people just want the map. So he was good enough to release it as both the map and the full mod to go with it, which I thought was a stroke of brilliance.
Yeah, I think the Mouse in general has got to be, honestly, probably the most popular map that has, I would say, ever been released, to be honest, especially for me.
I hear a lot of people talk about Taviana.
See, I don't have much experience at all with Taviana, so I can't really comment on that. The main maps I've just played is really Chernarus. One map I do really like as well is Livonia. I know a lot of people don't seem to really like it that
Livonia.
much.
I like it.
But I like how small Livonia is because you get a lot more. When I play, I'm a lot more of a interaction person. I'm not much of a shoot on sight. I like to sort of, walk up to people and have a chat with them. And then, if they want to play for the whole evening and sort of get to know other people. I like to meet people and sort of, make connections and whatnot. And Livonia is a very, very, very good map for that, to meet up and have a lot of interactions with people.
The landmass of Livonia, though, is similar in size to the landmass of Chernarus. So they're not too different.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that. From what I had heard is that Livonia was quite a bit smaller than Chernarus.
Yeah, but most people, when they're saying that, they're talking about the full Chernarus map of all the water. There's not too much difference from what I understand with the actual landmass. Livonia is still smaller, but I'm going to have to just quickly duck off for a second, guys, because my lips are still on fucking fire and I need another milk drink because I'm a little bitch. So, Brim, over to you, buddy.
Here to save the day, am I? Fucking hell. Bless him. He's old and he's just doing stupid shit now. I think he might be going senile. I worry about him on a weekly basis. But yeah, no. As far as Taviana's concerned, I never played any of the Armor games, so for me, discovering the Mouse has been quite a lot of fun because it's a map that I never played at any point. So being able to get it in this game, as it is now, it's not lost on me how much of an achievement that actually is. But I do see a lot of people nowadays talking about Taviana and the idea of Taviana being brought to standalone at some point. But I think there's some legal things there. I think because it's intellectual property owned by Bohemia Interactive, unless they were to give up that intellectual property, I don't think we're liable to see that in standalone. Certainly not as a mod. They might end up reworking it and bringing it as an official DLC like they did with Livonia, but I can't see it becoming a modders thing anytime soon.
Yeah, no, neither can I, to be honest. I don't know. I feel it would be a shame. Like I'm in the same boat with you. I haven't played Taviana at all, but like you saying about people saying about it and stuff like that. I have seen a lot of people saying good stuff about it. So if it does come out, I would love to be able to get a grip on it and play it because I've seen a lot about it. I just haven't played it. The only maps I have played is Chernarus, Livonia, and the Mouse. And like Sewell said in your chat, that the Mouse has revived DayZ, and I could honestly agree with that. I reckon I've seen a lot of the player base come back, and a lot of my old friends that I have played DayZ with have come back and started playing because they've seen that the Mouse has been released back onto DayZ. So I got 100% agree with Sewell there and say that I reckon the Mouse has definitely brought a massive player base back to DayZ, and I'm hoping that they stay around, to be honest, because when this new DayZ, this new Base 1 Plus update drops, I'm hoping to God that everyone likes it and enjoys it.
See,
I mean, if they don't,
I'm going to make a call here, Brim. I'm kind of getting famous now for making my calls, my predictions. I predicted what I remember predicting it, Brim. But what was the reason I predicted that choppers will come into vanilla? Something that Sumrak said, or
Yeah, I think
I can't
Sumrak
remember.
mentioned something on a. Didn't he mention something on a live stream or something? Or
Yeah,
something
something
about
like that. And I said
back
that's it.
end
Choppers are
stuff.
confirmed. This one, my prediction now is going to be there'll be a new map probably in the first half of next year, and it's going to be a snow map. And the reason why is, and I really, really feel for them, but the console crowd are, we're used to them complaining about everything, and I kind of I understand where they're coming from. Not everyone can afford to buy a good gaming rig that can run DayZ well. So console is fantastic. Sumrak is notorious for. Sumrak lied to me once before. I keep on bringing this up again. He told me you'd never be able to enter the other part of the fire station, and then a few months later you could enter the other part of the fire station. I've never forgiven him for that. But in this case, I think there's going to be a new snow map that will get released for all platforms sometime next year, whether it's just a winter churnerus or something. But it has redefined DayZ, and like you guys are saying, see well in your chat there, Brim. They came back for the Molsk, and hopefully they see how much better DayZ is now and stick. They'll jump back onto Churnerus and get the old vibe. So
well, I seem to remember that when I think was it 1.08 when they did the changes to the map and they added in like the ski resort.
Yeah.
I seem to remember that Sumrak, it was either Sumrak or it was the official DayZ Twitter. It was one or the other. I cannot remember which. Might have been both, in fact. But I seem to remember a comment somewhere saying that the changes to the map is going to add something a little colder. Now that makes sense, being that they put in a ski resort or a skiing, that whole sort of area of the map.
Yep.
But we've still never seen anything up there as far as a change in weather patterns. Like you look at Namalsk and you go into like the main town and it looks like a town, but you go out to the mountains, there's snow. So there's different weather conditions in different areas. So I would love to see something like that come to Chernarus, to have it so that those ski slopes do have snow on them. Now that it's been proven that it's something that can be done through Namalsk, I would love to see that being a thing. I don't see them doing another map too soon. I would love to see them do another map. But I think as much as I enjoy Livonia, and I know a lot of people do, it wasn't as well received as we kind of expected. So I wonder if they'll be a little bit once bitten, twice shy about the idea of bringing forward a map they've done themselves rather than just promoting the Namalsk on behalf of Adam.
I think they will, mate, because of console. We've really got no idea how many people are playing on console. We do need to look into that. If anyone in chat knows, that'd be great. Figures to know how many are playing on Xbox and PS4 respectively. But it's just everyone's crying out for it, and all they're going to do is upset a large proportion of their player base that are bringing them in some good new money on console, and a cheap map, or even, dare say it, a free map as a thank you to the community with the revived interest and increase the hype, would go a long, long way. Like I said, I hoped that they would do it with Namalsk Brim. We said that several times on the show. Sadly, that didn't happen, but I think it's in their best interest to do it.
Yeah, and like Sewell said, Namalsk has reinvigorated DayZ, and just looking at the and obviously, like I say, we can't see necessarily the console stats, but looking at the Steam chart stats, I mean, you had Namalsk came out on the Thursday, the 3rd, and on Sunday, the 6th, DayZ had like 37,000 concurrent players. So at the moment, last 30 days, peak players of 38,000. So that just shows that there is this want for for something new like that. December 3rd at 9 p.m, 31,000. So we hit, Namalska came out, and within 3 hours, we were at over 30,000 concurrent players. So it just shows that there is a, the nostalgia obviously plays a part there, but there is a want from the community. There is, people do want to see these new things. They do want to get these other maps. So, and that's, let's say, that's not including the stuff for console players as well. So, they do kind of need something extra, I think, because that they don't really get the shit end of the stick on console a little bit.
They do, and then they get their big PC brothers and sisters taking the piss out of them all the time as well, adding insult.
And it's so much fun. What about Xbox? Fucking sell it and get a PC like a normal person.
To be honest, though, with the consoles, like looking at the PS5 specs and the Xbox specs, the consoles actually don't look like they're that far off actual PC performance at this point. They're starting to get closer and closer each year to the specs and actual being able to play games like PC. Obviously, the only downside to it is the fact that with PC you can basically mod everything. As on console, you're sort of restricted to what you can do. And that's one thing, is my little brother actually has an Xbox, and he plays or has played DayZ before. And I've seen a lot of people that when we posted the stuff in the Basement and Plus Discord about all the new sizes and styles we were adding in, for whatever reason, we had quite a lot of people on Xbox asking, "Oh, will this be out on Xbox?" And there's quite a few people that want a lot of the mods. A lot of the mods that get released, like Expansion, for example. When that released, I saw a lot of comments that were saying that, is it going to be on console? Is it going to be on console? We want it on console. There isn't much content on console for modding and whatnot. Which, if it was a possibility, which I don't believe it is from what I know, but it would be nice if some way, somehow, they could, even like you said, even another map, just to give the player base something new to play and something new to explore. Would be a massive thing for consoles, because on PC you're looking on the workshop, there's new mods every day, new content coming to DayZ every day. As on console, they've got the same thing for months on end type of thing until a new update comes out.
An easy thing I think they could do would be just to release a Winter Churnerus. It wouldn't be that hard, and I know the first time I played Winter Churnerus, it was like a whole new map for me because everything looked different. Once you've got a couple of thousand hours in DayZ, you could look at almost any forest and go, "Oh yeah, that's the forest near such and such," and you can pretty much run around in pitch black and you still know where you're going. But that would be a simple thing that would probably not take too much time. I'm guessing. Again, we're pretty bad on this, aren't we, Brim, for going, "Oh, that's an easy thing to do," and then
don't fucking lock me in with you.
Actually, that's that easy to do. Or Jacob in particular is really good at calling us out on that, and Daone. But yeah, I guess it might be a simple thing to do. There's an existing mod already.
Yeah, for what I know about map building, because I actually, when I first started modding, I actually was originally making a map with Matthew Longtime. And from what I can remember from making the map is that the ground textures and stuff is done by something that's called a satellite map. And what that is, it is literally just the texture of, it's like going on to Google Earth, for example, and screenshotting a piece of land. So I'm pretty sure the only thing really you would have to do, obviously, I'm not saying this is how easy it would be, but I'm pretty sure all you would have to do is make a sort of a white version of it and then just replace it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that is how easy it would be. Obviously, it may not be. It could have changed a lot since I last did it. But from what I remember, it is just a satellite map, which I believe you'd just have to change. And obviously, a lot of people have said with these winter maps that have been coming out, like Winter Churnerus and stuff like that, that having the ground as white and snowy is awesome, but they'd also like to see the trees have snow and stuff added onto them, which, you know, it's a very, very, very small adjustment, but it can make a massive difference to the player experience. Especially with all these like mass, for example, you know, they've got snow gear and all their mods and stuff like that, but the only way you can really utilize that clothing is if you're laying down on the snowy grass. Is if there are, you know, snowy trees and stuff like that, then, you know, you could be like any normal sort of playing experience on DayZ and just crouching in a tree and just trying to hide yourself with all the snowy gear. But
yeah,
you definitely don't want to be laying down in the snow on the mouse. I can promise you that. There's a little thing we get around here called Chilly Willy, and it ain't very fucking fun.
Oh, which sort of chili willy are you talking about? The type I've got, or
No, chilly as in cold, not as in spicy.
Okay, well, we have an hour and 40 minutes. That's what I love talking with people like you, Forth. We're an hour and 40 minutes in, and yes, we kind of divulged a bit and talked a little bit about the moles, but we haven't even started on the other topics on the agenda tonight, mate. But we are all going to be watching Base Building Plus with avid interest, mate. The changes you've made is something that I know a lot of people have been calling for, a mod that has it all in one, the ability to build your own standalone McMansion if that's what you want, or just lock down an existing structure. What about, one thing I didn't ask was, what about barricading windows?
What, like the Mordors mod?
Yes.
Do you mean? Yeah, we're actually, I think we are implementing that into Base Building Plus from what we've been chatting about, and obviously Jest, the author of Mordors, is on the Base Building Plus team. And I believe we were chatting, it must be, what, a week and a half ago, we were actually chatting about just basically combining the two. And one thing I'd really like to do is have the different tiers of window barricades, you know, you could have plank barricades,
Yes.
Metal pole barricades, stuff like that. So that is definitely something that we want to add in though, because I love the idea of taking a vanilla house and just adding a door to it and then vanilla barricades onto it and
It's
claiming
easier
it
on
as
the
your
server
own.
as well. And you know, like for the more hardcore servers like I like to play, where resources are going to be few and far between, it's going to be more economical for people just to lock down existing structures.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, obviously, if it was a real life scenario, you're not going to build in the middle of a field. You're going to try and take over an existing building. And that's kind of like one of the things we have been pushing for with the new sizes. So
Gestures in my chat saying I'll leave a separate more doors for people who want that too.
Yeah, that would be. That's the thing, is we want to give people options.
Options are good.
And that, yeah, exactly. And that's what we want to do is, you know, if people wanted the Base 1 Plus mod just by itself, they can have it. If they want the furniture from it, they can have it. Instead of having to load the whole thing itself, you know, they can pick and choose what they want. Which, you know, I think is a big part of it, allowing server owners to have a lot of freedom with what content they want to, you know, pick and pull and put on their servers and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, it's going to affect their server performance and also their player base as well. But yeah, at the moment we're just basically we're talking about how we basically thought it was just long overdue to just redo everything. And you know, realistically, base building, as soon as base building came out in DayZ, it was pretty much a core component of the game. Everyone wanted to do it. And that is what I would say with a lot of confidence that our mod is one of the core mods that a lot of servers will choose, is because it adds so much into it with the snapping, for example. Same with expansion, but with the Base 1 Plus, obviously you have the more tiers and stuff like that. So that's why we thought, you know, it's time to redo the whole mod, make it perfect, add loads of content in where, you know, there won't be one base that's the same as the other. And basically just try and redesign the whole core of the game, and make it, you know, 10 times better. So
I love it, mate. I love it. And the people in chat have been very, very excited at this as well, mate. So please continue on doing what you guys are doing. It's awesome to see, mate. It really, really is. Okay. Before we start on the rest of the agenda, I want to do another quick shout out. Just going to share it in your chat, Brim, and then I'll share it in mine. But our mate LKP1, his music, if you are a streamer or YouTuber, is still up for sale. And we talked about it last week, but he's going through some hard times at the moment, folks. So if you're looking for some good music, designed by someone who not just composes music, but he composes music aimed at DayZ. And he also, I've been chatting with him behind the scenes as well. He also said he's up for any custom work. So if you want something unique to your project, to your stream, to whatever, hit him up. He's open to anything, folks. So you'll be doing yourself a favor and doing him a big, big favor by helping support someone who is a bit down on his luck at the moment. And I wish him all the best. Check out his music. He's got some really cool songs. Like I said, probably my favorite one is I actually listened to another one the other day. Barely Infected, when he was doing the village service, did a big speech there about the village, and he actually turned that speech into an electro funk dance sort of fucking song. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. Again, another one of these incredibly talented people, Brim, that make us look like absolute plebs.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken as well, I think, and I would advise people to double check before they take anything I say with as gospel, but I think his music is royalty free as well. So if you're worried about DMCA strikes on YouTube videos or on your Twitch stream, you shouldn't have to worry about that. It's all covered under the purchase.
Yeah, you
of
get
the
full
songs
license to use
itself.
it with the purchase. So you're all good to go. So spaggy.com/music for those listening or watching this later. Here's the link. That link again, spaggy.com/music. Okay. Let me go to the weekly show agenda. Scrolling up. Now, Don Sibley shared a message with us. I couldn't find the actual link to it, but not sure if worthy of a mention, guys, but thought I'd drop it here. Made a video last night showing console community servers how to get a server they own on the first page of the community tab server list for DayZ. After I posted it, I found out people have been charging a monthly subscription to server owners for their servers to put up on the first page. Glad I exposed it now. So again, I'll share this link in both chats. But basically, it's a little bit more complicated, but it's the same sort of principle as what you see in phone books when you're looking for a plumber. And the very first plumber is usually always guaranteed, Brim.
Wow. You never know, do you?
Services. AAA fix your pipes. They always use that AAA because it gets them at the head of the list. And it's a bit more complicated because of code involved in the naming of a server. But yeah, there's a way you can bug it here. He actually went into like JSON or XML and got some weird symbol that counts even before numbers. And he entered it in, and sure enough, his server went straight up to the top of the list. Cheeky little technique, but yeah, it's something
it works.
It works on console. Definitely worth checking.
To be fair, I think they need on console. It's a shame, but they do kind of need all the help they can get with getting server players. I mean, there's a lot of people that play DayZ on console, not just on Xbox, but on PS4 as well, of course. And I wonder, that's got to be. It's a little bit of a cheeky trick, isn't it? A little bit. I don't want to say scummy because that's probably a bit too negative, but so it's a cheeky little trick. But I think they kind of need it. They need all the help they can get, unfortunately.
And actually, that just reminds me of something. That just made me think of something. I need to check. Please go in to the DayZ Podcast Discord and chuck a vote on Don Sibley as a rising star for 2020. Because, man, that guy has just come so far this year. And he is, I think it got said last week, Brim, He is one of the most underrated DayZ content creators out there. The stuff he does is next level. Absolutely.
Especially with all that green screen that he's been doing. Did you see he put a thing up, the how DayZ, the official Twitter, are doing that? Come and take an in-game screenshot from this location, and you can win something or whatever some challenge, whatever it is. And Don went to the extra level of actually getting that picture and then green screening himself in to that picture rather than going in game, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
That's awesome.
He is. He's have you seen his little? Do you follow him on Twitter, Forth?
I haven't seen anything of that, but the idea of him green screening himself onto it, to me, is just awesome.
He's done some absolute bangers. He had one where he flew in across the screen inside a Merlin chopper and was talking, and then people started shooting. He goes, oh, he's looking out at the chopper and he's like, oh, that's Shroud. That's Summit. Oh, wow. Hi, guys. And then shots get fired at him. He's like, oh, shit, get out of here. He's got a blaze, and the chopper takes off. Another one where when the Molsk was released, he was walking around in the Molsk, and it was his review of the Molsk, and he walks up to the camera and goes, it's fucking cold. It's just brilliant what he's doing. It's nice to see someone, just doing something a bit different. And I'm really, really impressed with what he's doing. He's an absolute legend, and we've got to give him a shout out, Don. Sorry, Brim. He rated you before the podcast as well. He's a big supporter of ours and a friend of the show. He's phenomenal. Absolutely fucking phenomenal guy. A genuinely nice guy.
One of the few left.
Arkansas. What the hell was Arkansas thinking with this tweet? Now, give me a sec. Let me just bring it up. I love Arkansas. I love him with a passion. Now, he teased us ages ago with the hype train.
That was pre-expansion as well, wasn't it? That he said he was going to hype train, and then all of a sudden we forgot that he existed because expansion.
And then he goes and teases us by putting a bit of train track on fucking the Molsk. Arkansas, where is our hype train? I want my hype train.
I think we all want that thing at this point.
Yeah.
Did you see the comments on that tweet as well? The comments were absolutely hilarious.
Will never be released. Wait, are these using splines? Looks like something of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That person at the top with all the numbers in their name that said will never be released, if I'm not mistaken, that's Grostron.
Oh, Ben, that's a burn. Is this the representation of a frozen Project Kappa? All aboard the hype train. Are we close to it? Probably fell. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you got me to look, because that one was a good one by Ben. I'll pay that one. I will pay that one. Yeah. We enjoy our good burns here, don't we, Brim?
Oh, don't we just?
Speaking of which, shameless plug time again. Go into the most memorable DayZ related moments and vote for the ultimate burn, the DayZ Twitter account.
Oh, that was phenomenal, wasn't it?
That was absolutely phenomenal.
Do you know, it's funny because I love that I was the one that went back and found that as well.
Yeah.
Because you put something, you put it in the admin chat of the Discord, didn't you? Saying, and it must have been about 2:00 in the morning for me. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I've got to find that. And I literally had to sit there for about half an hour thinking, like, when was that? I had to go back to the old episodes to check when we had Jakub on the podcast, because I remember that we mentioned it to him. I went proper, like, deep, super sleuth, fucking Sherlock Holmes finding that. And the amount of shit I had to wade through, people's responses to the DayZ Twitter makes me want to uninstall Twitter.
But we've got to give the guy credit, Darwin the Turtle. Because he had Mixer in his profile at the time. He took it very well.
He was a very good sport.
Yeah, he was. He got absolutely roasted. And didn't crack a wobbly about it, and it was just fantastic to see him take it on the chin like a man, and just roll with it.
He replied to a lot of people as well. He replied to a lot of people who were like, "Oh, that's a good burn," and that. And he literally, he must have been sat there for hours just replying to people like, "Yeah, no, they got me with that. That was really good." And he was a really good sport about it.
He was. Now, Fourth, have you seen the live action DayZ video?
No, I didn't even realize there was one, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. This is the Twitter account. And I've actually been chatting with the guy. I can announce it this week. He's actually coming on the show next week, Brim.
Oh, nice.
And he'll be talking about filming. Have a guess what country they're filming it in.
I'm guessing Czech Republic.
Nope.
And my only other guess would have been like Lithuania or something like that, then some Eastern European place.
Let's see if anyone in chat can guess.
Russia, maybe?
Nope. Nope, not Wales, not Serbia.
Fuck's sake, Kaiser. What sort of spelling is that as well? Take the H out.
Wales.
Jesus Christ.
No, not Utah, not Norway, not Poland.
Germany.
Think hotter.
They're not filming it in Oz, are they?
Yes.
Are they really? Fucking hell.
I was looking at the first video and I was going, because I spent a lot of time in the bush when I was in the army. And I was going, fuck, that looks Australian. But who would film a series about DayZ in Australia? And turns out, sure enough, it was being filmed here in Australia. So episode
just sitting there looking through the video. That's my fucking house over there. What the fuck's he doing shooting around by my house?
No, it is episode 2 is coming soon. And I am really looking forward to it. Plus, we've got the one that is actually being filmed in the Czech Republic right now. Plus, there's something else I know of, but that's all I can say. That's all I can say.
Oh, you prick tease.
Oh yeah. I've got to keep something there to keep you going, Brim. I can't just tell you everything, and I've got to keep something in reserve.
Yeah, there is that.
But no, very, very excited. Definitely worth checking out. Fourth, the first episode was it got some really, really good reviews from people. If you give me a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch these because I play a lot of Escape from Tarkov, and they have like their live action things, and I enjoy watching those.
So
it'd be cool to watch.
There's episode 1 just getting posted in the chats now. Oh god, I've got bloody screens everywhere. Okay, I've managed to close the screen. Give me 1 second. There we go. Posted it in YouTube chat as well. So for those that want to see it. But yeah, it was brilliantly done. Like he's managed to find gear that looks relatively like it's from DayZ. I've got to give him credit for being able to get his hands on even fake guns in Australia. I think the only country worse than us for guns is the bloody UK.
Yeah, well, you say that.
Yeah, that's what I say. You say that.
You should spend a couple of hours down my end of the country of an evening and figure out that that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, similar to where I live as well. I live in the middle of nowhere in the UK, and every now and then you'll hear a gunshot go off, and you've probably some farmer shooting something or something.
It's a lot easier to get a gun in the UK legally as well, with the government's permission or what have you, than people think it is, than people assume it is. But
yeah,
I think isn't there quite a big airsoft community in your part of the world, Boydie? I saw recently something on Twitter about
airsoft is banned in Australia.
What
we do have is gel blasters, which are a very weak, poor cousin. They shoot these little rehydrated water beads. They've got a range
I've
of
seen
about
those.
20 to 40 meters. They won't even allow airsoft in Australia. Too scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of understandable considering the reason for the ban overall, but yeah, kind of sucks a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
I'm quite surprised by that, to be honest.
Yeah, it surprises a lot of people. They're trying to fight it, and there's possibilities, but yeah, we're getting a bit off topic there. But guns is always a touchy subject with a lot of people. Okay. Yeah. Congrats to Sour Sweet.
Yeah.
Sour Sweet, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Definitely. What's going on? Why is the screen not? Okay.
It's funny how quick as well, because he put up a tweet a few days before saying, oh, he was on like 99.5 thousand or something like that. It said, like, only a few to go type of thing. And then all of a sudden, bang, within like a day or two, he had managed to hit that sweet spot, that solid number. So fair dues to him.
Very big milestone as well.
Isn't that when you get
a big milestone?
Get your first YouTube play button at 100K, I think, don't you? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you do. Silver play button. So we'll have to highlight that when he finally releases an image of that, if he gets approved for it, because it's not guaranteed. They can still say no, but I honestly can't see why they would say no to a DayZ YouTuber. But yeah. So congratulations, Sour Sweet, mate. Very, very happy for you, and onwards and upwards. And they say the first 100K is the hardest. I've only got 98,000 more to go, but
got a lot less to go than me.
And the man has just shown up in your chat as well, but we talked about it before. But oh my God, is Namalsk killing it right now? It's all pretty much the majority of people are talking about. But he actually tweeted out, "I'm humbled to say that last night, not even a week since Namalsk release, Steam Workshop item for Namalsk Island has reached 100,000 subscriptions. Thank you and welcome to the Frozen Wasteland, everyone. I hope you enjoy your stay." And the photo was from another Aussie. Hey, it's me, Fleur. Who's another one of those quiet supporters of DayZ in the background. She's involved in almost everything in DayZ here in Australia. Her and her man, Cooper. But yeah, everyone unsubbed now, please. Work on updates is ongoing. First update has already hit public branches yesterday, and more is in the works. Thank you for the continuous support and feedback. Join us over at the official Namalsk Discord, which if someone could feel free to post that in both chats, that'd be great. So you can get in there and get all the information. He was even kind enough to put the follow buttons in there so people can follow for the official announcements in their own Discords as well, which is a nice little addition to have done. The question I had for you, though, Adam, is when are you going to put a sub button on your Twitch channel?
Get it on there, man. Get it on there. To be fair, I think I mentioned it a little bit talking about Namalsk. I mentioned it a little bit on my streams recently this week, talking with people about Namalsk, and it's a big enough achievement that Sumrak has managed to release Namalsk as a standalone mod for the current version of DayZ standalone. Like that doesn't get stated enough. Like, that is a hell of an achievement in itself. But the fact that it's only been out for a week, just over, and it's already reached 100,000 subscriptions, and he's already put out a public update for it in what, 9 days it's been since it came out. Like, that really says a hell of a lot about the project and about the man behind it, in my opinion.
It does.
A lot of dedication.
Have you tried it yet, Forth? You said you jumped on?
I jumped on for roughly about half an hour, just looking around with friends.
You managed to stay alive for half an hour. on your first run on the moles. Kudos to you. Well done.
Well, I wouldn't say I stayed alive for half an hour. More like, because it was on, basically we went on to one of my little like local servers that I have at my house. So God mode was enabled and we were all going around together. We mainly just went on for the nostalgia because, like I said, it was such a big part of when I used to play with all my old friends back in the day, that we kind of just wanted to all go in together and sort of relive the moment of us all starting it up once more together type thing and going around it together. But I got to say, though, with Adam as well, the amount of dedication, because obviously he's the lead dev of DayZ and then working on a mod, as well as
streaming.
You would have thought, you would have thought he would have got a bit sick of DayZ, but having that much in his life. But he obviously cares a lot about the game itself and the community behind it. And well, I mean, it shows with the amount of numbers that the mouse has done in its short time as well. Which I couldn't think of any better way for to release the mod and get 100,000 in less than a week. That's ridiculous. I think that's absolutely insane. The amount of support the community has been shown as well has been absolutely awesome. I've seen nothing but positive comments on Twitter, the streams, the workshop, everything. But it's definitely a thing that I think DayZ needed in general.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, it's brought so much life back into the game. Absolutely fantastic, and he should be very, very proud of what he's achieved. And the support from everyone has been fantastic to see as well. It's been a big uniting factor for a lot of people in the PC community. It's all about Namolsk at the moment. Everyone's playing Namolsk in one way, shape, or form, and it's fantastic to see. It really, really is. The next item on the agenda. Now, Headhunter CFC68 suggested this one. And this is a bit of a contentious topic, but we don't shy away from stuff like that. He put a comment in here. As an active fan, it ties into our last point a bit, but as an active fan of Twitch, and in particular a large number of DayZ streamers, I have noticed over the last few weeks how irritable and actually salty some streamers are becoming. Most of these streamers, to be fair, do explain that if you don't agree with rules or like certain aspects of the stream, that you could leave and find another streamer, which is straight talking and to the point. However, I do think that over the long term, they will start losing subs and regular viewers. Personally, I think that some of the streamers are playing so much that they are physically and mentally fatigued and face burnout if they don't take a break. This is a double-edged sword. Carry on and get a reputation for being an arse, or reduce stream hours and or take a break and potentially lose their popularity and viewer numbers. Discuss.
Headhunter's one of my subscribers from my Twitch streams, and we've had a little chat about that specific subject and about sort of different people's ways of doing it. I think we've mentioned it on the podcast a couple of times, haven't we, that we see a lot of like the big DayZ streamers, guys like Minder, who, for all the respect and that he deserves and should get, and rightly does, I think his recent sort of public meltdown, if you will, his recent sort of things that he's been saying on Twitter and on streams, on clips that have been shared, kind of highlight exactly what Headhunter is saying there. That Minder, for example, Minder himself, he's a guy that does a lot of 12-hour streams. It is his job. It's a full-time occupation, so he has to. He can't. Oh, I don't know if he has to, but I'm sure he certainly feels like he has to. Be there several days a week, 12-hour streams.
This isn't just about Minder. He's not the only one. There's a lot of people that, you just see them on whatever day. I put a comment in there that, they get to the point, the big guys in particular who are doing this full time for a living, it gets to a stage where their chats are almost looking at them forth as dance monkey dance. Why aren't you entertaining me? How often do you see in their comments boards? I don't know how much you watch, but for fuck's sakes, kill someone already. For fuck's sakes, and it must get hard for them forth.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I mean, I personally don't play DayZ just modding, let alone doing it full time, day in, day out. And, I can only be doing it for, 5 or 6 hours and then I have to get off of it. But doing, like you said, mine over 12-hour streams, and I know a lot of other streamers will do, 10-hour streams, 12-hour streams. I can imagine that, a lot of streamers would eventually get to the point where they're burning out. That's why I think that, like, and I've had a conversation before with someone and said to them, why don't you have certain days where you do certain games? So, like, have a couple days a week where you play DayZ and a couple days a week where you do something else. Because at the end of the day, if you get burned out and you're not enjoying what you're playing, it's going to resemble that in the content you create. And then therefore the chat's not going to enjoy either. It's like sort of like a domino effect, if you know what I mean.
It is, but Brim, it's much harder to, in my opinion, to establish yourself as a variety streamer than just a single game streamer, because variety streamers rely more on their personality, whereas single game streamers can maybe, and I'm not meaning this in a negative way, saying that they don't have a personality, but what they lack in the showmanship that, say, a Don Sibley has, they can make up for with pure knowledge of the game. They become a place for people who want to know more about the game to go to.
Yeah, and the way I kind of look at it is from guys like Minder, Topret, those big names, running mans, from their perspective. Obviously, I've never been at their level, so I can't necessarily say for certain. But the way I look at it is, for those guys, it is a full-time job. So if you look at any other full-time job, whether you work in a supermarket, whether you're a police officer, whether you just work in an office, you have those set days and times that you work, but every so often you need a break, you need a holiday, you need a vacation, book yourself a weekend away with the missus and the kids, go spend 2 weeks all inclusive in Spain, get absolutely hammered off your face for 2 weeks, come home and start all over again. And I think there's such a grind mentality with content creation, whether it be streaming, doing YouTube videos, regardless of what game. Historically, over the years, it's been very much, you have to grind it, you have to be there every day doing something, doing as best you can. And it like you say, it does get very repetitive, and eventually you're going to get to that point where you're going to burn out. And I think because of the industry is so focused on that, working constantly and grinding to get what you want, no one takes that time to step back and look at things and go, right, I've been playing DayZ or whatever other game, I've been streaming, I've been creating YouTube content for the last however many years, non-stop every day. I need a break. Let me go and have a holiday. Let me go and take a couple of days off, spend some time with the family, come back fresh. And once you do that, you're going to lose a little bit of your numbers every so often, your viewership and your followers or whatever, because you're not there. But your content overall, in my opinion, would be better off for just having that break. I've done it recently in the Steam Autumn sale. I bought the 2018 version of Hitman 2, and for about 2 or 3 days, even on stream, I sat and I played that instead of DayZ, because I knew Namalsk was about to come out. I didn't want to burn out before Namalsk came out. So I played a different game for a few days, streamed it a little bit, and then Namalsk came out and it's back to it. And I think that's helped quite a lot.
But the danger there is, and you touched on it, mate, that the loss of subs, the loss of viewers. Twitch is one where if you don't stream for, like, I remember when I was modding for the Running Man, he would take a week or two off here and there, and he would lose not just a few, but he would lose hundreds of subs. And you add that up, that's a lot of money forth that he's losing. YouTube, on the other hand, is one of the most convoluted and complex systems that if you're not uploading regularly, then it drops you out of the algorithm. It punishes you. Twitch and YouTube, as much as I love doing this, thankfully for me, it's just a hobby forth. But for these guys who are making a living from it, the stresses that they've got to be under to constantly dance monkey dance, or the viewers who, 99% of them, viewers, the way that the streamers and that are making money is from ad revenue, and they'll just go somewhere else. You've got your loyals, your diehards who will stay no matter what, and feel lost when the person's away for a week, but the others will just go somewhere else, and it will take you time to get them back. It's a cruel world, Forth.
Yeah, they'll just hop and skip through streams, the people that aren't, sort of dedicated to watching that person. I've seen it quite a lot with certain people. Like when someone called Sada Plays, I'm guessing you guys might know. He used to stream a lot, and he used to get 2,000-3,000 viewers. And then when he came back, he was barely reaching 1,000. And at one point he was one of the big content creators out there.
Same with Septic Falcon, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So it just goes to show that if you're not constantly on top of it, then like you said, it does punish you. And that's why I feel like it sucks, because a lot of these streamers, they might want to have breaks off, but they're worried that if I have a week off, then how many people am I going to lose? Like, am I going to lose half my audience or 3/4 of my audience? So they have to force themselves into this position to keep on just going with it, even if they don't want to, for their livelihood, which I think honestly is horrendous. I would never really want to be in that position, if I'm being honest. I would rather just have a normal 9-to-5 job like I do now, rather than have to have all that stress, because you got to bear in mind, at some point all that stress is going to build up, and then eventually someone's going to break.
So maybe viewers, if any of you are watching this, the next time you see a streamer is having a bad day, just say to them, are you okay, buddy? How you doing? Let them know you actually care about them as a person, and not just, someone on the idiot box for your entertainment, because they put a lot of fucking time and effort and a lot of money, especially the small guys who are trying to become big. Once you get to Shroud levels, you don't need to worry about it. He fucked off to another platform and came back, and everyone was still waiting for him. But for, even the big guys in DayZ, like the Running Man and Toprek and so on, if they take a month off, it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them hard. So show some loyalty. If you've got a fiver spare, chuck it their way. They're contractors in probably the worst possible sense of it, because it's a very, very fickle industry, this Twitch and YouTube, isn't it, Brim?
Yeah, it really is. And I wonder, talking about mentioning Toprek there as well, I wonder if maybe he's a little bit ahead of the curve at the moment, what he's doing, because on top of his normal YouTube uploads and the fact that he streams, he's recently opened up a second YouTube account, which is for his IRL stuff, where he's doing just bits and bobs, hobbies that he's into and stuff. So
I haven't watched it yet. Has he gone mushroom picking?
Curtain. I think he did on the first video. I've not seen it yet. I've not watched it. Looking at the thumbnail and the title, I think it was something about, there was some mushroom related tomfoolery involved in whatever that video was. I haven't watched it myself yet, so I don't know for certain. But I wonder, doing something like that, where he'll have, maybe he'll put out one YouTube video on DayZ a week and stream 3, 4, 5, whatever times a week, but then also doing something else, taking your mind off it. And still staying within the industry, but doing something slightly different that kind of might, give him that little edge where he can concentrate on and won't get burnt out so quickly, perhaps.
I like what B-Wad said there. I always try to reach out to people who I know are having some issues. I have had a little mental health channel in my Discord to allow people to try and vent or express their feelings. And that's a good thing to do, isn't it, Forth? Just reach out. We talked about Minder. I remember at the beginning of the year, when all this COVID stuff started, I actually asked Minder in his chat, "How you doing, mate? How you holding up with all this?" And I still remember the moment. It was like he was kind of surprised that someone had actually asked him. And I'm just an occasional lurker in his stream. I've never been a religious person like I was with others, but I still like to go in there and watch him. I still do. And he was almost stunned, I think, that someone had bothered to ask him how he was holding up. It's a crazy world right now, especially. So we've done a big talk about mental health before, but I think it's something it's always worth talking about, Forth.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, even just going into someone's chat and just saying hi, and even if you've just got it up on a second monitor or something like that, if someone sees that they've got people watching them, feel a bit better, especially like you said when being asked, how are you, how have you been, stuff like that. With Twitch, it's a bit weird because you see a lot of negativity on some Twitch channels, and when someone asks you, how are you, even if you don't know them, that person's gonna think, oh wow, that someone actually cares about how I feel and how I'm doing. And you usually find that those people will usually make the day for that person they're watching, even though it's just one simple comment. It makes someone's day. And I feel like that's what, especially like you said, especially now, because I know there's a lot of people that have got or have mental issues that are really struggling at this time. And I feel like like I said, just one simple comment can, change someone's decision or, make their day a lot better than what it would be. And that's what I try to do, at work at the moment, at my work, you get a lot of people that come in that they look down and stuff like that, and just try to have a little conversation with over the counter. And as soon as you start having a conversation with them, you see them sort of brighten up, and they're like, oh, thanks for that, I appreciate that. And just that can make someone's day 100 times better.
It can, mate.
So
a few kind words don't cost you nothing, do they, Brim?
No, exactly. And that's one of the changes that I've recently made myself as well. Is as some of you know, I've got another Discord community that I manage called the Grumpy Old Streamers, and it started by the Hellfire Show, who a lot of you will know as a DayZ streamer as well. And
I love him on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter, folks.
He's a fucking nightmare on Twitter is what he is. He's a nightmare in real life. Trust me. I'm godfather to all 3 of his kids. I'll tell you now, he's a fucking nightmare in real life, but I love him. But he started this, he and a few others started this community, and it was just a few friends, on Discord, just having a chat, being able to share clips and stuff. And recently we've made some changes to where the Discord now has a mental health category, so you can go into there. There's resources for like global and UK based resources for suicide prevention, mental health, positive mental health resources, places you can go to find someone to speak to, things like that. There's a little section there where you can vent, you can say, I'm not feeling too great today, and someone can come in and say, oh, let's talk about that. And you've got that little reach out sort of ability there within the Discord now, as well as the usual, gaming clips and memes and banter filled stuff. So I'll leave a link in our 2 chats to that one if anyone does want to stop by and say hello at any point. But like I say, it's literally just got some resources there that I hope will help help a few people kind of make their day a little less crappy, and know that there are resources out there that that are aimed at making that better, essentially.
And reminder, if you want to do something to help someone, www.spaggy.com/music. LKP1 needs our help, folks. So if you know someone looking for some good music, www.spaggy.com/music. And kudos to Spaggy for putting that up on his website as well. He's got his spaggy.com website, and it's a big thing of him to do. I know him and LKP1 are very close. They're good friends. But he's put it up on his own website to try and help out a brother in need. So kudos to him for doing that. Mad respect.
Yeah.
Okay. Our new favorite DayZ. Oh God, I love this guy. Give me a second, just make sure I get the right window up. Out of context, DayZ put out a lovely new tweet in honor of Namols. Oh God, it was funny. Let me share my screen again. Guys literally only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. Hang about. Heat buff.
It's so true though as well. That's so true.
That's awesome.
I love his work. I love his work. That was just absolutely brilliant when I saw that. Yeah, he's just such a funny guy. I'll get his oh, come on, open up. I'll share his Twitter account, but if you're on Twitter, a lot of people talk about how toxic Twitter can be, but it's Twitter accounts like his that bring a bit of love, a bit of funniness to good old DayZ. He's got such amazing stuff in there. I love his Twitter account. It's one that whenever I see it in my feed, normally you scroll through Twitter, but you see an out of context DayZ, it's like, oh yeah, I'm checking this out. I'm checking this out. He's got some great stuff on there. Have you heard of him before, Fourth?
I think I actually heard about him from one of my Belgian friends that I have. I think I remember them sharing something of his in our Discord.
Yep.
About like the old loot explosion stuff like you see in the background there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Some of the stuff that he comes up with is you would never think of it. Just like that thing there where he's like about the disgusting thing that only guys need with the health bar. Like, you know, if you saw that, you would never expect to see food, hunger, and a health bar of Trump DayZ.
He just
that especially as well. Nobody, my teammate, I see
stuff.
someone.
Yeah, he's always searching for stuff, and gives credit as well. So kudos to him. Follow the guy. You won't regret it, folks. You won't regret it. He's got, some original stuff and a lot of stuff he just finds from Reddit and stuff like that. Not everyone likes Reddit, not everyone likes Twitter, but it's just great to see someone sharing stuff for a laugh. Sometimes it's a bit of a poke fun sort of laugh, but it's all in good humor, folks. Don't take it too seriously. Have a chuckle and scroll through.
It's good. It's good that he gives credit as well. If he does take like one from Reddit, he actually like puts, this is courtesy of, r/ and there, or username / whatever it is, on Reddit. So he doesn't rip off anyone and try and make it out to be, this is all my handiwork and I'm the best. He actually gives credit to other people as well, which I think is really good.
It says a lot about that person when they give credit to, the person that's made it.
Yeah.
This one I like. I love that meme. Yeah.
And of course it had to be Don Sibley that put that up as well.
That's awesome.
What else have we got on the agenda? Okay, this is an important one, folks. So I shared this. I can't actually share the screen of this one because it's in Twitter. Sorry, it's in the Discord. But when I uploaded the podcast from last week, now we talked about the security issue with mods. And he actually provided the clarification, Brim. At some point within the discussion, we talked about modders that may be able to get information such as IP address. I was wrong on one of the parts about someone with malicious intent not being able to get IPs. There is a possible method of leaking the Archon password, which can then be used to connect to your server and get all the information such as name, ID, and IP of connected users. Server owners, please be aware of this. Don't leave your Archon password within the root directory of your server. Instead, you can run the command, and he's got the command here, and make the path somewhere outside of the root directory. Now, does that make sense to you, Fourth?
from what I understand, that is obviously don't have the password of it in the actual folder where the server's being ran from. I would think so. But I don't have really much experience at all with DayZ servers. I've been on a couple, but that's mainly just making content for them, not actually doing any of the server side stuff. But I didn't even know about all this being able to leak the security and stuff like that. I had absolutely no idea about any of that.
Yep.
That's
you probably want to go back and watch last week's podcast. We talked about it straight up because Jacob Mango lied to us and said he could only be there for a while and then stayed the whole fucking episode. But it was actually quite interesting to learn about these potential security issues with DayZ. Yeah. Sorry, I've just lost part of my dot tag, so I'm going to have to look for that later. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird one for Brim and I because we don't understand it fully. So you'll probably learn a lot from it yourself there, Forth. It came up just due to, there was obviously the troll of Summit with the Christmas tree thing that happened on a server, and some servers have got back doors into mods so that if they find out people are monetizing it, they can lock the server until they remove it or remove it themselves. And yeah,
that's the thing as well, isn't it? That whole thing with Summit was because I don't understand how that was done. It does kind of make me almost sit there and think like that seems like quite a. It was funny, it was banter, and he saw it for what it was. That it was just someone playing a prank on him, and he was a good sport about it. But it does kind of, like I say, because I don't understand how it was achieved and what happens and how it all goes down. I can't help but sit there and think it is a little bit scary that someone has that ability to, because essentially what it seemed like someone did is they saw that Shroud was live, or Summit, sorry, saw Summit was live, saw had seen that he had said something about the trees on his Twitter or whatever, and managed to track down, I mean, it probably wasn't that difficult, but track down what server he was playing on and somehow have, set that up so that when he logged out into the main menu, that happened. So it is a little bit scary to know that there are people out there that have that ability and know how to do that essentially.
What happened to Summit then? Because I have no idea about this.
So Summit went on a bit of a rant about trees in DayZ being shit. That getting into a firefight in the forest was a nightmare. So what happened was someone trolled him in the loading screen. They somehow managed to change the loading screen of the server so that when he was in it, all these trees started falling on him and all these presents started tumbling out of the sky from above him. It was a custom loading screen just for him. So someone was able to identify him and change the loading screen just for him. And they talked about it last week that there's a lot you could do with that loading screen.
All those presents were Summit's 1G logo as well. So they were all like it was all his branding and everything. Someone literally trolled. You can find it online. It's fucking hilarious. It really is hilarious and genius. But it, like I say, it is
scary.
It is a little bit on the worrying side of someone who doesn't understand how it was done and what goes on. It was a little bit weird and concerning, but I saw that. I think Summit saw the funny side of it. And, that's good. He took it as what it was.
As with everything, there's good ways to do things, but those with bad intentions can do bad shit. Oh, okay. So Brim, I'll pass it over to you now, mate.
Yeah. So we've got a little bit of shit news that I've received during the course of this podcast. And I've spoken to Uncle Ray in DMs, and he's happy for me to share this information. It's not the most pleasant or best stuff. But unfortunately, let me just grab the screen up myself so I can see what I'm on about. There we go. So Uncle Ray, 20 past 2. So you're talking about an hour and 10 minutes ago. Put a post up in his Discord that I'll read it. I'll read exactly what he's written here. So it says, I was recently informed that a good friend of the channel, Sergeant Beefy, died in a car crash recently. He was the one who started the Sir Yes Sir. If anyone's been in Ray streams, you'll understand what that Sir Yes Sir reference is. As well as helping with setting up Uncle Ray's Boom Boom Room server, which he had a little while back. He was also an admin on Usonia, where Ray played a lot. Was a very nice guy. Will be sorely missed. Very sad to hear the news. Honor to have met and known you. R.I.P. Sergeant Beefy. So yeah, I thought it would be remiss not to bring it up a little bit and just give a little quick heads up to people. If anyone knew of Sergeant Beefy, knew he was a great guy. Like I say, he helped Ray set up his Boom Boom Room server, and he's helped Ray quite a lot over the years with various bits and bobs, and was always a good laugh on the streams and stuff whenever he showed up. So it fucking sucks, but like I say, I thought it'd be daft of me not to at least bring it up and
my heart goes out to Uncle Ray and to Sergeant Beefy's family and friends and the whole community. We talked about it with the communities that we get. You do get attached to the people in your communities, don't you, Porth? You get to know some of these people online, and some people would say that they're not real friends. I beg to differ. Some people I know online are better friends to me than people who I know IRL.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I've got like some of the Belgium guys that I've played with. I've been playing with for 6-7 years now, and I feel like I can talk to them about more stuff than what I could my friends in real life. Because when you're online, I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but you feel like because you're talking over a screen, you feel more secure about talking about more in-depth stuff. And I've personally found with even the community that, I find that I have stronger friendships over the internet than what I can in real life. And I find that especially with communities with DayZ, people care about people, and if people notice that someone is down, they will do whatever it is to make that person happy and to sort of lift their spirits. But yeah, I completely 100% agree with that comment about, and like my parents are like old fashioned, and they say, oh, well, they're just people over the internet, and I'm like, right, and they're just people in real life. What's the difference?
Yeah, still people.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the thing it brings me back to, you mentioning about, they are real friends on the internet. You look at guys like Fubar Bundy. If I'm not mistaken, I know Boydie, you know him a lot better than I do, but him and the Alan met randomly. They bumped into each other. They happened to bump into each other in DayZ. And if I remember rightly, when we were lucky enough to have Fubar on the podcast a few months back, he mentioned that, him and the Alan, obviously pre-COVID, they've actually met up in real life. They're friends. They've eaten in each other's houses. They've met each other's families. They are genuinely actual real life best friends. They've genuinely been together like that. So it doesn't matter whether someone's on the other side of a computer screen or a keyboard, or whether they're your next door neighbor, or whether they're second cousin 12 times removed that you haven't seen in 13 years. They're real people, and it sucks when something bad like this happens. So you need to kind of really enjoy the people in your life that you enjoy now whilst you've got the chance, because life is a fickle bag of shit at times, and unfortunately, things do happen, and it's the best times, it's the smiles, it's the laughs, it's the happiness, it's the good shit that keeps you going. So
I'm into that.
Yeah, concentrate on that more than anything else.
I'm into that.
Never
okay.
take life for granted.
Hell no. Our own Helkiana put out a nice little tweet. Let me just go back here, share screen.
Oh, this was another milestone, wasn't it, if I remember rightly?
After 9 months of publishing this mod, Much Stuff Pack, I reached 500,000 subscribers. Heart emoji. I'm so happy people love what I've done with the mod. In the next few months, I want to prioritize improving the performance and quality of the models. So that's fantastic to hear for her.
The players on the server I help admin for love the Much Stuff Pack, as do I as well. It's a phenomenal pack. We got to the point of actually removing other mods so that we could make space and have the Much Stuff Pack on there, because about 4 or 5 regular people, players of our server actually said we would love to, we want that back. So that says a lot. There are people out there that absolutely love that pack. And
she's good at what she does.
Too.
There's a reason why so many other modders turn to her for advice and help.
Yep, and she's willing to help so many other people as well, which I wouldn't even be surprised. The amount of times I've messaged her over and over again, I wouldn't be surprised if she was just like, can you just leave me alone? But but she still helps, and the quality of everything that she makes is top notch. So I'm honestly not even surprised the fact that she's hit that amount, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it, like, the amount of effort she puts into her work, like, sort of resembles how much she cares about it. So
yeah, it's a good mod that adds so much to any server with bases, doesn't it, Brim?
Yeah, exactly. And you look at now with the Mouse Scout as well. She helped. If I'm not mistaken, and I know Helkiana's in my chat there, she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know she helped win a mouse. I think it was her that helped with making the snowballs that you can throw at each other, and they actually you got a chance of knocking someone out with a snowball. And she created the igloo mod as well, where it incorporates, if I'm not mistaken, that snowball situation where you can use those snowballs to help make an igloo as a shelter on the mouse. So
that's awesome.
It just shows what a fucking genius she actually is.
Yeah, fantastic 100%. Work. Fantastic work. Onwards and upwards. It'll be 1 million soon, Helkiana, the way DayZ's going.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I added a couple of extra topics because I ran out of room. So Asmondian, being the legend that he is, shared or updated the insulation guide that he did with the changes to some of the items that they made. So that was a very, very cool addition from Asmondian. Guys, if you do not follow Asmondian, he is between him and Out of Context DayZ, and of course the DayZ podcast, that is 3 reasons you need to have a Twitter. And it's in that order: Asmondian, Out of Context DayZ, and the DayZ podcast. They're the 3 reasons why everyone needs to have a Twitter account. Asmondian's guides, they are the best in the business. He does with one image what others take minutes to explain in a video. The guy is brilliant at what he does, and he's a genuinely nice guy as well. He also, big massive shout out to Asmondian. He created the DayZ podcast logo for us. When we were all sitting there wondering what to do and all the rest of it, the next thing we know, he's popped into chat and posted a logo there, and everyone's just gone, that's it. That's the name of the show, and that's the fucking logo.
I think we were sat there as well for a while, weren't we?
Yeah.
I think we were there for a good couple of weeks in Discord and stuff, with trying to come up with good names for the podcast, since we were starting, it was starting to get a bit more viewership and stuff. And we were sort of sat like, we're going to have to really take this seriously and do this proper. We need a decent logo, and we need a decent name for the podcast.
What fucking idiot came up with that?
I'm saying nothing. I think we had about 10 different ideas, didn't we? In the in the podcast Discord.
We were voting forth, and we were asking for input.
Yeah,
and fucking Asmondian just came in, posted it. He didn't even say this is it. He just posted the image from memory, and we were just like, "Fuck yeah, nailed it."
It was like someone just walked into the room and just flopped out their massive cock on the table and went, "There you go, lads, have a look at that." So we're all sat like, "The fuck is that?" Oh, well, that's good. That is fair dues. I like that.
That's awesome.
I'm not even sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Okay, so yeah, Asmondian folks, give him a follow. I'm lost for words. Now,
I'm gonna have to put that on the new fucking podcast TikTok now, and I.
Spoiler alert, people! If you are a Namolsk purist and you want to find out everything about Namolsk yourself, close the screen and just listen to the audio. If you're watching this on video, I don't know what to do. You might want to just keep on tapping forward until you see that the screen has changed. But okay, when I count to 3, the spoilers start. 1, 2, 3. Let me bring up the tweet. Now, I was watching Smoke play the other day, and oh my fucking God, the shit Sumrak. I just saw that comment. Thanks, Brim, I'm eating. But the shit Sumrak has put into the Namolsk map. He has just gone. I know last week we harped on about Namolsk. This week we've harped on about Namolsk. But fuck me swinging, the level of detail he has put into this fourth. A fucking teleporting, floating orb that has rocks levitating around it.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea how you'd even start to make something like that, to be honest. I have no idea. That's absolutely awesome.
Septic Falcon put out a video on it the other week. It's at Athena 1 on the map. If you ever get a chance to go and find it, you'll know the area when you get there, because it's you get all those sounds like the children running and laughing and stuff. The ambient sounds, like, they really ramp up.
I know the helmet. The helmet has something to do with it as well. That AEST helmet. When you turn it on, you get a bearing and a range of where the teleporting orb is. But has anyone worked out what to do once you teleported? Not that I know of.
I don't know if there is anything you can do. I think it's literally just a case of you step into it and it teleports you somewhere, and that's it.
But it's got to be for a reason. It's got to be for a reason, Brim.
It doesn't teleport you that far away either, from what I've seen. I don't know if it's a set location or not. I know in Septic Falcon's video, it teleported him to just a snowy hillside on the map. But one of the things that made me laugh was and Septic put it up on his Twitter recently, because Septic put the video out, and someone in his YouTube comments said, "Oh, that's really good camera, saying you faked that, blah blah," something like that, basically saying that Septic did some funny editing and somehow faked that. And Septic's response was like, "No, it's a feature of the map, and I did it on stream. And if you look on YouTube, there's like loads of people have found it. It's not a secret." Like, are you I read it and I was just like, oh, some people are just so fucking dense.
Okay, so Helkiana's saying in your chat that if you're next to it and the EVR happens, you're dead. You have to jump in to survive. She said she got teleported to the IC. That's what happened to Smoke as well. He got teleported out onto the ice.
See, in Septic's video, he got teleported just to a snowy hillside, but it was near where he and whoever it was he was running with had already built one of Helkiana's igloos. So they managed to jump, and he managed to just make it back inside the igloo just as he went unconscious from the storm.
Helkiana's saying forth that she ate Adam to survive.
I saw that.
Desperate times, desperate measures, and all that,
So it is a
she
random
just said
location
it as well.
Ah,
Random location.
Interesting.
Oh,
I just
such
thought
a
that was a
fucking
stroke
cool
of
thing.
brilliance. Absolutely a stroke of brilliance. And I swear that in the modding community, like you were saying, Forth, you've got no idea how he would do that. I think some of the things he's brought into the moles have got people out in the modding community like, wow, okay, how the fuck did he do that? How can we do it? What can we do with it?
It's like one of a kind thing that's been released. Like, I haven't seen anything like it. I've just watched a small little video and I've never seen anything like that yet at all. That's the only... I don't even understand how you get the rocks levitating around it, to be honest, let alone it teleporting you around.
I can imagine it wouldn't be too difficult to just place an item there, but like you say,
Famous last
for
words.
everything...
You said you don't do this. You said you don't do this.
Hear me out. I think it's probably quite easy just to place a static item solid in place, just like you would the little wooden bridge that you go near it. But to then have it do everything it does to be it's not just a static item. Like I said, there's the lightning around it, there's the rocks, it teleports you to a random location. Like everything that comes with it is a whole nother level. He's not just placed an item, he's placed something that that is above and beyond anything that you could possibly imagine.
Okay, I've got a challenge for someone. Here's what I want to see. I want to see an across-map grenade throw kill.
Oh my god.
Throw a live grenade through the teleport hole and see if you can kill someone on the other side. I don't know how you'd know you did it, but
that you'd need like help from an admin on the server, surely.
Or kill feed.
Yeah. I want to see like someone like Uncle Ray use this to his advantage and take someone hostage up there and do like almost like this is Sparta and just Spartan kick them through the orb and send them miles away, like stripped off with no shoes on or something.
God, it's a random teleport. Imagine if it teleported you right to a bear or something.
I would assume that is a possibility. I wonder if there is something in the code you can change so it's not a random location. You can set it to one specific location based on the needs of your server.
I'm just excited to see what you modders do now that Adam has kind of reinvented a few things and shown you what can be done. Yeah, I can see some really cool shit happening here.
Yeah, there's so many people recently that have been popping up out of the middle of nowhere, like Dab, for example.
Yes,
Implement
Dab.
Dab. He came from literally he came from literally nowhere. Like bam, DayZ editor, and I'm like, the hell are these people coming from? There's so many new people that are coming out that are making so much new stuff now that it's making so many more possibilities for people. And like the editor, for example, has changed the way that people are building stuff for servers now.
Yeah.
And something like you can even remove stuff now off of Chinoris and stuff, and it will stay like removed. And I'm like, wait a minute, how the hell have you even done that? Because see, from my knowledge, you could never do that before, and then he's just somehow gone and done it. I was like, okay, now mine it's possible.
Yeah.
So many new possibilities that people are bringing.
The future of modding in DayZ and the future of the game, I think, is very bright and in some very good hands. I think we're only scratching the surface of what is possible. Technology changes every single day. New things become possible and available every day. So imagine what's going to be around in 12 months' time. I think we should come back and remember this conversation in 12 months' time and think, what did we have back then compared to what we've got now? I think it would be fucking mental.
I'm saying it now. I'm hoping in 12 months' time we'll have vanilla helis. I want vanilla helis.
Yeah. Let's hope they work better than the vanilla cars.
Oh, yeah.
Don't need vanilla helis. You've got vanilla cars. They'll send you across the map quick enough.
Yeah. Very, very, very true.
Okay. And the last one, Johnny Bravo in chat mentioned. I know this is random, but I'm just watching the episode 38 of the podcast right now, and the topic of the animals not bleeding came up. Vanilla DayZ, it has been disabled. Derleft has figured out how to re-enable it and has uploaded the mod to workshop called Bleeding Animals. So for those that are interested, Bleeding Animals is apparently the name of the mod, and it will enable you to actually track. Let me see if I can find it. Bleeding Animals, there we go, by Derleth. There's also Bleed Trail by Mungard.
I did have a little look because I saw that was popping up on the agenda. So I did have a little look on Steam at the Bleeding Animals thing and reading through the comments on the Steam workshop for the Bleeding Animals as well. It seems that at the moment they don't have like a blood trail or so there's no visual like there is when a player gets cut. You can physically see the blood. On the animals, that's not the case. However, he seems very adamant, if you please, that that would be a possibility, that someone should know how to implement that. And he's taken bleeding from wolves and bears because he thinks it was that it would make it a bit too easy just to, slap a bear to cause it to bleed and just wait for it to bleed out. So, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were only talking about this, weren't we, the other week, where I said I had clobbered a goat with a shovel and it ran off for about 50 meters and then fell over dead. And I was really confused as to how that was, because I didn't think that was possible. And now Derleth comes up with this. I mean, every single week I'm shocked and surprised, but shouldn't be at the talent of people in this community to make it's like that so quickly.
There's almost a mod for almost anything now.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually there chatting to some of the Basement Plus guys last night, and we saw that there's a medieval mod now as well.
Yeah,
and I was just like, it reminded me of a game that unfortunately has died out now, but Reign of Kings. I used to play Reign of Kings a lot, and that medieval mod has actually reminded me a lot of Reign of Kings.
Didn't
and
Mr.
it looks
Moon
like a
used to play that a bit?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he played that quite a bit, I believe. But yeah, that new medieval mod reminded me a lot of Reign of Kings, and the mod looks pretty polished. I mean, all the everything, and they even made their own map for the mod as well, which kind of blew me away. It just
sorry, go on, mate.
Sorry, I was going to say, it just shows the commitment of making maps take quite a long time to make. I know that for definite, and to the fact they made their own map as well as sort of just shows how committed they are to their little project. So
yeah, I've not looked at it in depth in the Steam Workshop, but I did recently see a guy called Tommy DeGun was streaming on a deathmatch server, and he had full medieval gear on, and he had a working bow and arrow. So it would seem, I don't know if it's definitely this same mod or not. It'd be worth looking into, but it does seem he was live streaming on Twitch, and I saw him fire a bow and arrow at another player. So it looks like we have actually, after all these years, people be saying we want bows and arrows. It is a thing by the looks of things, and it looks like it would be something to do with that mod, possibly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, quite maybe.
Very interesting. I'm surprised if someone's got a bow and arrow working that they haven't released it just as a standalone mod on its own.
Yeah, it's definitely worth looking into. I think if you literally just go onto the Steam Workshop for DayZ and type in medieval, it will show up, and you can't miss it because the main like profile picture is like a big medieval wooden shield. So it's I'm not sure if it's definitely that mod that has the working bow and arrow in or not. Like I say, I haven't looked into it, but I have recently seen a working bow and arrow in DayZ on a deathmatch. So, it could be very, very interesting.
How do you spell medieval?
I've put it in
Dark Medieval Age.
I've put it in Brimstone's chat. The link to the mod there. It's called Dark Medieval Age.
Yep, got it.
That's the fella.
Yeah, they've got their own like little building. I believe they've got their own little building system. They've got like custom enemies, if you call it. They've got like these little tree people. They've got like a dragon. They've even got their own little like medieval military tent camp area as well. And the bridges and the outer walls and stuff look awesome.
It reminds me a crossbow, lot of, but they don't mention an actual bow.
Yeah, I'll have to have a chat with Tommy and find out what it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does say a variety of more than a dozen weapons will help you find your own style. But if you're more into firearms, there is a crossbow for you. So it does look like they have got quite a lot of stuff there. It says magic and alchemy as well. So ancient artifacts to gain the power of magic and subjugate the whole world.
Again, I mean, something choice something different to mix it up a bit. If DayZ, if you're getting a bit bored with just running around with guns, go pick up a fucking claymore and chop someone's head off. I could see Uncle Ray and Lax Hawthorne and them having a ball on a server like that.
Oh, don't. I'm literally getting like fucking goosebumps on my arms thinking of those fuckers getting hold of that mod. Jesus Christ. I don't think my brain would be able to compute that.
Okay, so we're getting to the end of the show now. One more quick reminder. Hang on. DayZ Twitter watch. Scotty from the DayZ team shared a pretty cool tweet that I was quite impressed with. Give me 1 second. Come back here. There we go. Let me bring it up in full. What a cool wedding cake. DayZ being played on a monitor. The game DayZ, Doritos, Mountain Dew, and the comment is, what dinner? One moment, living in the moleskin, the bride dragging the husband away from playing the moleskin on the wedding cake. So, yeah, I'd love to know whose wedding cake that was, because that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I was going to say, that looks like it's an actual, like someone's actually had, like made that as well. That doesn't look like it's Photoshopped. That looks like someone's actually genuinely had that as their wedding cake. And whoever, fucking bravo to anyone who's actually had, I would legit love to have that as a wedding cake.
Look, but the thing that gets me the most, if this is a genuine wedding cake, who the fuck managed to convince their missus to let them make the wedding cake DayZ related? If I said that to my missus, she would go, that's it. It's over. I'm walking. I'm done with you. DayZ is fucking an obsession for you. I'm gone. She says that she hasn't threatened to leave me yet. Only a few times. But
yet.
Yeah. If I was to suggest that for our wedding cake, oh my fucking God, she would lose her shit.
Your wife would clothesline you into next week. It'd be like fucking Royal Rumble if you suggested that to your wife as a wedding cake.
Oh. Who would even have the balls to suggest it? What was that for?
I said bravo to the person who bloody made it. Jesus.
I wouldn't have the balls to suggest it, but if it was suggested to me, I would definitely be like, yes, and now I know why I'm marrying you.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
The fact that it has Doritos and Mountain Dew as well is just even better.
Yes.
My inner fat bastard is getting very hungry looking at that photo. All I can think was, I just want cake. I want cake, but it's too beautiful to cut into. It's like art.
It is. It's a work of art. I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Kudos to whoever that is. Okay, so now we one more tweet from the Twitter team. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. Here is an opportunity to help another within the DayZ community. And the DayZ team retweeted LKP1 DBS. Here's there. Once again, I know I've harped on it, folks, but we like to help people out here in the DayZ podcast community. Gravity Wolf, you are always welcome, mate. It's why we don't remove people's roles. So jump in and join us in the Discord, mate. But www.spaggy.com/music, help out a brother in need, LKP1 DBS, going through some tough times at the moment. It's no secret. He posted it publicly, folks. We're not shaming him. We're trying to raise awareness and help out someone who's done a lot for the DayZ community with the fucking cool songs that he's done. He's never charged anyone. I remember I suggested way back to him that he should do a Fubar Bundy song. What did he do? He made a Fubar Bundy song. Now he needs some help. And who better to help him than those in the DayZ community?
And the fact that the official DayZ Twitter actually shared that as well, to show that, you know, it just shows how awesome they actually are, that they themselves went out of their way. And it, like I say, it didn't take them more than, you know, probably 10 seconds to compose that tweet. But the fact that they decided that they wanted to help out and try and, you know, and share that it says a lot about the people behind the Twitter, really, and the people behind the screens are human.
Yeah. Now, what can we do for you, my friend?
Check your messages, my friend.
Oh, give me 1 second.
You're asking a fucking pensioner to get onto his email or something here.
It's Discord messages.
He's old. He can't figure these things out.
I'm getting there.
Okay,
Or at least I'm feeling that way.
Cool. This is pretty cool. Give me a second. I don't even know how the fuck I can bring that up. Have you got a? Can you able to share your screen to show it, Gravity Wool?
I actually did this last night before we built the actual screen for Namulsk, so I kind of can't do that. But
Okay, give me 1 second.
I can send it to your Twitter if that makes it easier for you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll do that then.
I feel like I know what this is, and yet I still feel like I'm about to be surprised.
I'm blown away by the fact he came through with the promise from last week, Brim.
But the thing that's even better than it was the first reaction I got when I shared it with someone that had never watched the podcast is they saw it and they went, what's the DayZ podcast? And I went, exactly. That's the point.
That is the $1 million question.
Yeah, if I put it in front of you, you get that question. And he got that question. So it's also it's hyperlinked. So if you double click on it, it'll go to your website. Also, Fourth, I love you, man. I haven't seen you in a while since we were playing playing Among Us with everyone. How you doing?
Not too shabby. How are you?
I'm all right, man.
So that's what they've done, folks.
All day.
They put a DayZ podcast logo in the main screen for the Vanilla ++ Deathmatch servers and other servers. So that it's a hyperlink. When people click on it, it takes them to the website.
It also gives you a little description that it's a community-made project by you. And I think I'm also going to put at least the UTC time in there so people don't have to travel far to find out when it happens.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much, mate. That means a lot to me and the rest of the podcast team, mate, because we do this.
Well, it seems the YouTube's almost up to 2,000 subscribers, so
yeah, it's
double it.
Well, shit, I need to pay more attention to things like that. But yeah, I am closing in on the 2K mark, which is, I've abandoned the old Boydie73 YouTube channel. This is my forte, is opening my big fat fucking mouth and talking about DayZ with people much more intelligent than myself, and just trying to spread the word and for once bring as much positivity into the DayZ community instead of causing all the. Thankfully, you haven't had to fucking break out that board in weeks now, have you, Brim?
I don't think I've broke out that board is still sat. In fact, if you give me 2 seconds, I can see it from here. I'm going to grab it and see how many days are left on it, and it will show how long ago it was since I had to update this.
For those who don't know, Brim had a board when I was a younger Boydie. We're talking, 30 weeks ago. Days since last incident. When I managed to upset
21.
someone on Twitter.
21. That is how like when the last time it was updated was we managed to go 21 days without any sort of drama or incident, and we're at a lot more than that now. I think I haven't actually updated this in months. It's been sat behind my bedroom door, and I'm pretty sure this pen is like caked onto the board at this point.
And yeah, someone just said in my chat the Discord has been blowing up recently too. So for throwing a bit of love back at Vanilla ++, next week, I've been hyping it up as much as I can on Twitter. And thank you to everyone who... Kiana, I can make drama. But thank you to everyone who's shared and retweeted and all the rest of it. But we are doing a special event next week at the end of the DayZ Podcast Awards. We've got 4 big things, really, 5 big things happening next week. Firstly, we've got Mr. Utah coming on to talk about the mini-series he's been making. Then we've got Open Mic Night. So all of you who have been loyal and watched this show and always wanted to come on and just talk shit, come in and talk shit with us. Talk about DayZ. Tell us what your favourite moments were. Tell us what you love about DayZ. Then we've got the DayZ quiz, which is being created by Chamber Senator. Now, for those who don't know Chamber Senator, The guy is basically like the Rain Man of DayZ. He is absolutely phenomenal. He's one of those, like, as Mondian, he likes to go into the stats. He's one of those like Wobo who loves the science of DayZ, but on top of that, he also loves the lore of DayZ. If you want to know something about DayZ, this guy, Chamber Senator, is the man to turn to. And I've asked him to create a quiz. I've got to raise some money and get some stuff together to hopefully have some prizes for the quiz. But leave that with me. If I have to eat fucking hot chips to do it, I'll eat hot chips to do it. But yeah, and then we've got the DayZ Awards show with 13 categories. And what have we got? Most memorable DayZ related moment, most popular DayZ cinematic video, most insane PvP moment, most popular mod, most popular custom map, funniest moments, most popular community server, rising star nominees, most popular DayZ guide channel, most popular storytellers, most popular DayZ video, most popular YouTuber, and most popular streamer. So lots of categories there. It's all in good spirit, folks. I did worry about doing this, and I did word it bad initially. I said the best, but I changed it to most popular because in reality, that's what this is, Brim. It's a popularity contest.
Yeah. This is by no means the gospel, just because, X amount of people vote for one specific thing doesn't mean that it's necessarily the same for everyone. This is just meant as a bit of a laugh for Christmas.
Yep, exactly. And hopefully that's what it achieves, Gravity.
Say that again.
And hopefully that's what it achieves, mate. A bit of a laugh, some shits and giggles, and then we get to finish it off after that with about how long do the deathmatch rounds go for?
It's configurable, but I believe right now it's set to 30 minutes.
That's what I was hoping. Oh, that's what I thought, 30 minutes. So we'll be doing a 30-minute round of deathmatch with 30 content creators, streamers who'll all be streaming it as well. We've got the likes of Psy Syndicate, JLK, Don Sibley, Brims going to be in it.
I'm happy Don's joining us.
Yeah, so am I. I'm such a fan of his.
Great.
More awesome stuff he did on Twitter recently.
Per his own words, just remember, it's fucking cold.
We might have smoke. We've got Archie, PFT Clumsy, Big Ninja, Rivet Gaming, Astro's Legacy, Mr. OG. Oh my God, if Mr. OG and Uncle Ray meet in game, that will be the fucking.
They have done before. They have done before on streams recently, and I can assure you, as someone with first-hand viewing experience, watching from Ray's stream when he bumped into OG was one of the funniest things ever.
Oh.
I genuinely considered calling an ambulance because I thought my appendix was about to fall out of my ass. I was laughing so hard. It was ridiculous.
We got Rab Plays.
The idea of putting Don in there as well.
Level, Amish Z, Gary is a Noob, DayZ Daily Press, Dozing Chopper, Happy Bombs, Inclement Dab, Agony, there's Don, Sumrak, even Sumrak's going to be in it, Septic Falcon, Wiidevil, Uncle Ray, BWAD99, Marks, Psy Syndicate, Brimstone, D-Hop. D-Hop is going to be one to watch, folks. That guy is a beast at PvP. Helkiana, JLK, and Ariana as well. So we've got a couple of girls in there. It's just going to be such good fun. And then after they've done the deathmatch, which is basically, we're calling it the warm-up, so they can get their eye in, they all go in to a 45 to 60-minute round of Keegan's Battle Royale mod. And for both rounds, it's going to be played on Namolsk as well. So really, we're talking about deathmatch. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I did ask Shroud, and Shroud said no, he's not interested in Smoke. Smoke is a maybe because he's not so big on deathmatch, which is fine. If you're not into deathmatch, so be it. We all say there's better games for PvP than DayZ, but DayZ has its own unique challenges, and I think it's going to be great. And I really hope Smoke does come on board because it'd be good to have the king of DayZ PvP. I did ask Toprek as well, but and the Running Man, but for them, Saturdays is their family day, So unfortunately, we couldn't get either of them, but it's going to be.
Gotta honor that one.
Sorry?
Gotta honor that one.
Oh, yes, mate. Oh, yes. And, yeah, it's just meant to bring the community together forth, get as many people together, put a big spectacle on, get a few hundred people, probably, I reckon we might even crack over 1,000, maybe 2,000 watching amongst all the streams. And we'll be streaming it live.
Yeah.
Gravity's going to be in the commentary team with myself. And I also have the pleasure of announcing that Polsky Titan will also be commentating. And for those of you who have questioned your sexuality, you do not want to listen to Polsky Titan because, mate, that guy has got a voice that makes your balls rumble.
I didn't realize that Polsky Titan was on board for it as well. That's fucking awesome.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's going to be an amazing Christmas podcast special. Starts early. What time again? UTC is it, Brim?
I think overall the actual Christmas episode of the podcast itself starts at 8 a.m. UK time. And then I think the death match and everything starts at 4 p.m. So it's going to be a long old day.
Sounds pretty awesome.
I had to pay $15 US to get a reply from Shroud. He's a very hard man to contact. But hey, I figured, what's the worst he's going to say? No, and that's what he said. No, so if I can sweat off my shoulders, but yeah,
worth a try.
Like I said, worst I'll say is no. So yeah, and It's going to be a massive show. We've got 6 hours of pre-show where we just talk to everyone from the community. Obviously, we're not going to have everyone in the room at the same time. We'll set up a green room where if you want to come in the show, we'll have you in there and we'll drag people in so we can, we want to give some love back. I hope we can get everyone. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get everyone. I don't know how many people are going to turn up. I hope a lot. And then the main event of the podcast, and we've got a lineup. I've got a whole channel down here of people who've said they're going to pop in throughout the show. And yeah, I want to keep some as a surprise. I gave away the biggest one. That was Mr. Utah.
This makes me so happy. After being a modder for about 3 years now, it finally feels like we as a DayZ community, and that includes Fourth, Brim, and yourself, I feel like we're finally becoming a community.
Yes.
It's not just so much going and playing the same game or loving the same things, but it's interacting with one another, boosting each other up, and just reminding, like you pointed out earlier, someone had passed away. I didn't know this person, so I'm going to take the time to say, Brim, Boydie, Fourth, I love you guys. If tomorrow is your last, I at least let you know.
Yeah.
Agreed,
that's pretty sweet, bro. I love you back. That's cool.
It's like the best way to bloody put it, honestly.
Yeah. Reach out, everyone in chat. Tell everyone that you love it, that you love them. Don't have to agree with them on everything, but you love them nonetheless. As a living, breathing human who has people that care about them.
Absolutely.
And that's actually, I like the way you put that. And I like I said before, I have been a fuckwit and a shit cunt at times with some of the shit that I've started with people. And this is my way of saying sorry to anyone I pissed off over the years, and trying to just bring the community back together, and have something that we can all feel a part of. And that's why, some people might have just gone with getting the big names on. But one of the things I'm most proud of, Brim, is that you were the first person to reach out. I loved your story. Say it again, the story about how you found out about the podcast.
So it was Hellfire Show, actually. He shared you had put up the original tweet saying, thinking of starting a podcast, does anyone want in, essentially. You didn't word it like that, but that's basically my TLDR.
Effect, yeah.
And I hadn't, I think I'd seen it, but hadn't really thought much about it. And then Hellfire Show messaged me and said, have you seen what Boydie's put up on Twitter about the podcast? I was like, yeah, I did. I saw that. Yeah, I liked it and I retweeted it. And
who the fuck's
pretty
Boydie?
Cool. No, it wasn't so much that. It was, I didn't know who you were specifically. I knew the name Boydie73, and I knew it meant something. But I had never been in your streams. I'd never really interacted with you. And I just for shits and giggles thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna check this Boydie fella out, and I'm gonna reply to that, that tweet and say I'd love to be on an episode, because podcasting is something I've always been interested in. So I thought, fuck it. Like you with Shrouds, the worst you can say is no skin off my nose if that's the answer. It's not, if you don't shoot your shot, you're not gonna fucking hit it. So. And then, next thing I know, it's what are we now? 38 odd weeks in.
39.
I think I've
39 weeks, mate.
And I think out of all of that, I've missed maybe 2 or 3 episodes due to, in fact, not even that. I think I've missed maybe 2, because even when I was on holiday for 2 weeks, I stole my friend's laptop off him for while he was sat in another room. I was like, right, I'm nicking your laptop. I've got my headset. Took my headset and everything on the train journey with me for 5.5 hours to get to his. And did the podcast remotely as well. So it's mad. It's mad to think how much has changed in such a short space of time.
Did you see what Zombie Lee wrote in my chat?
Yes, I did notice. Yeah,
Brim found his DayZ soulmate. Oh, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
Worst thing is you've got less facial hair than my last girlfriend as well. So it kind of works out.
But the other thing I love, Brim, is that we're getting these people behind the scenes. The names you only see, like Forth, like Gravity Wolf, like Helkiana, like Mass, like Windstride, that most people would probably never know anything about, and we're getting to bring them on the show. We've got a guest next year. Fuck it, I'm just going to show it. We usually keep a secret, but where's
don't show it. Just use your words.
Hearing it here first.
Where's the guest list? Prospective guests. We've got a guy lined up for next
guest under admin stuff. About 3 categories below the voice channel we're all in.
We've got some big guests lined up for next year, folks. We've got Dr. Big Money from Doug, Soma. For those who don't know him, his name's Jordan Taylor, and he was one of the co-creators of Survivor Games. The Loyal Patriot, so 3 massive OGs. Then I've got DM4 from Pipsy. Revive Me Ryan. Now that's the one that made me think of this. He reached out because I put it out on Twitter. If you would like to be a guest on the show, hit us up. He hit me up. He's a very small channel, and I've got to know a bit more about him. And he said, when he hit me up, he said, I'm a console player. I'd like to see you talk more about console. I said, fucking no. We touch on console, but let's get, and I reached out to Scotty from the dev team and I said, who else would you recommend? And he said, Vodka Cupcakes, Jasmine. So I reached out to her as well. And we've got both of them coming on. Val's going to make a return to the show if he's not back before then, because Val plays a lot on console. And Brim, you played on console yourself. So we're going to devote an episode focusing more on console DayZ, because we're not just about PC. We're about the whole entire DayZ community.
You'll have to remind me as well the week before that episode, that console specific episode, so I can fish my Xbox out from the bottom of my wardrobe and see if I can remember how to fucking use one.
I'll have to download it. I've got an Xbox sitting in the bedroom. I'll have to download it and just have a try of it, just so I can see what it's like.
An event. I have an Xbox in the other room as well, and I'm pretty sure DayZ's still on the Xbox Game Pass.
There you go. We can do a console DayZ kind of thing before, either before or after, or the week of at some point. Do like a little
oh god,
mini
don't
event
expect me to know how to
together.
hook up an Xbox to my fucking computer and stream that.
It's a lot easier than you think. It really is.
I don't even own an Xbox. I don't even own a console.
Master Race.
I might as well.
She likes it, so as long as she likes it, we'll keep it.
Okay, hang around, Gravity. We'll hit you up for a. Well, I think we know what your highlight's going to be. What you did with the website, mate, and I can't thank you enough for that. But we need to now do our spotlights of the week. For me, I've just said mine. It's the DayZ podcast, Deathmatch Battle Royale event, and the awards show and the quiz, and it's basically the Christmas special. I have spent so much fucking time. I'm surprised the missus hasn't divorced me. Hey, I've spent so much fucking time trying to organize everything for next week, and I've still got more to do. But I did a tweet on Twitter that took me nearly half an hour to type it up. I went through and tagged every single person who's been nominated so far. Please don't forget to go in, folks. Scan every single category and vote or nominate. It's not too late to nominate someone. Share it on Twitter that you've nominated them so you can get more people in there. We've got some rather interesting results coming. As I said, it is just a popularity. This isn't, concrete that this is the best or whatever. It's just meant to be a bit of fun. Getting some videos made up by My Serval, who I want to give a shout out to as well, Evan Travis. He's done a lot of the animations for the podcast, the outro and the intro for the podcast videos. Amazing fucking work. And I commissioned him to do actual proper videos so I can try and make it, the emphasis being the word try, to make it look as professional as possible when we do the awards next week, folks. So, yeah, this is my hobby.
Yeah. I want to give a quick shout out as well on along those lines to Uncle Ray, who actually shared the information and a link to the podcast Discord in his Discord last week as well, to get his minions to come and vote for him. He'll be at the very top of the he's the very first one at the very top of the most popular streamers category. So just use the reactions with the green ticks. Just to vote on whoever it is you want to vote for, and like I say, look on the most popular streamers, and Ray's at the top of the list, so definitely one worth voting for.
What about you, Fourth? Any highlights from the last week or whatever for DayZ? Something that really stood out for you?
Not necessarily, to be honest. I haven't really been around much this week because I've been working so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd probably say, to be honest, the leak of the tweet, the tweet of Arkansas's little meme,
Train.
as I call it.
Yeah.
And Sumrak hitting 100,000. To be honest, those are the two that I have noticed and thought, like, oh wow. Especially Sumrak's 100,000 in a week. I think that's kind of, that's insane.
Yeah.
When you think that, you've got other mods that have been up for over a year, for example, Base 1 and Plus, and it's got a 600,000 in over a year, and in 1 week, he's already got a sixth of what we've got over a year. It's absolutely crazy, but it just shows as well how big that map is and how much it means to everyone.
Yeah.
So I'd say for me, that's probably the biggest highlight for me.
And what about you, Fourth? Fourth. What about you, Gravity?
I'd have to say that, in the week of time it's been since I was here last, I feel like the progression is 5 times what I expected. We sat there and we spoke about, we're all about the community, but we need to be more community-like, where it's, it's not about us individually as a server owner or as a Discord server or a game server. It's all of us that are here loving the same thing and want to see it progress. And we had the Bohemian account on Twitch, and they listened.
Yeah.
And I can't thank them enough for taking the time to listen. So, I don't know. I feel like my highlight is that the progression that we've had, and I guess the progression that we've had in a week is a very good step forward. And, with the event and everything, there's going to be more eyes on, like, it's a community. It's not about getting DayZ'd in a sense. It's that we're all here together and we're all pushing each other forward to get things done and make things better so then we can get new players. And if I look at the last 30-day numbers, we almost hit 40,000 again, which hasn't happened since February. And before that hasn't happened since 2014.
Yeah. And the thing I'm loving the most, Gravity, is when you go into the chats of, Smoke, Shroud, and people like that, and people are saying, what's DayZ like now? And overwhelmingly, the people are saying it's better. And on that note, actually, something I want to put out. Now, what you all need to do, every single person in here watching this live, every single person listening to it, every single person watching this on YouTube, is you need to go in and you need to update your review. Now, I looked at my own. Mine is from update for 1.0 release, and I had almost 2,000 hours played at that time. So we've reached 1.0 and the game is majorly lacking in content and features that were promised. That said, I still believe the yada blah, but I'm not going to read my whole review. But go in and check your review and edit it, because DayZ is a long way from what it was at. Now, where do I see... Please stop.
I didn't even realize you could edit a review once you posted it.
Yep. I guess view all my reviews, and then it will allow you to select it from there.
So I'm just looking for where it shows the overall store page. That's where it'll be.
Oh, scroll all the way up, and there should be a store page. Yeah, it's the first one. Store page. It's underneath stuff.
Recent reviews, very positive. All reviews, mixed. So go in, check if you've done an update, and fucking change it. Give it a good, honest review. You know, we all know it's still got a lot of features that need to have some work on it. But get in there and check it. You know, I'm going to put a tweet out. Or did I already do that, Brim? Did I already put a tweet out about that?
About what?
About updating your review for the store page?
I don't remember seeing one.
No, we'll get that done. And then we'll get people to share it and try and get people to go back in there and review it overall, because it's come a long way from where it was. Fucking hell, Brim. We are like a married couple. I do that with my missus, mate. Have I already done that, Dale?
Your car keys are where you left them, dear.
Following on from what Gravity Wolf said, though, about the player pop fluctuating and changing and stuff like that, the amount of people I've seen over the years saying that, you know, DayZ is a dying game or it's a dead game and that it's not going to be long until it dies off, it just goes to show, with all these people coming back to the game, like with the release of the mouse, that it's nowhere near dead. And bearing in mind, it's been a year of modding.
Yeah.
And look at all the mods that have come out. And I think, honestly, this is just now modding's been enabled on DayZ. I think this is literally just the start. And I wouldn't be surprised if with all the mods that are going to keep on coming out and all the talent that keeps on popping up everywhere, I wouldn't be surprised if DayZ gets even a higher peak than what it's got now.
I don't know what the dev team's personal roadmap looks like right now. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I would just personally like to see a spot in the roadmap for 2021 where it's just bug fixing.
Yep. I think we talked about that last week. Polish what they've got.
A little bit more features to give a little bit of features, not too many new things, because you always have to make sure the console guys have something fresh and new because they don't have modding. So always make sure that you give them something. But in the end, let's get this as stable as possible.
Yeah. They said tune in next week.
Ooh, spicy.
Okay. That's a spicy meatball. Mwah.
That's spicy in your chips.
Now you're just leading us on.
They're like Arkansas.
Yeah.
You're such a tease, DayZ. I like it. I like it a lot. Don't clip that. Please don't clip it.
Someone better be fucking buying me dinner for all this teasing, I tell you.
I've got it right here for you, mate. A bag with your name on it.
You can fuck right off.
Okay, folks. That's a 3.5 hour show. Another really long one. Thank you for so much for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Base Building Plus, mate. Dumpgrad just said it before. He's one of the team behind the new Dawn DayZ servers. Base Building Plus is much loved by me in our server. And the reaction from everyone in chat, mate, about the changes you guys have got coming. I know for me personally, I prayed for a base building mod that enabled people the freedom to do what your mod is going to allow them to do. You want to build a McMansion, you can build it. You want to lock down an existing structure, you can build it. I'd love to see you take on those couple of suggestions, the trader window and defenses of some sort. You know, booby trap grenades would probably be the easiest, but I'd love to see what crazy shit you guys can come up with. Another one I've always had in my mind is electrified barbed wire. I've always wondered
we were actually talking about that last night. We were actually talking about electrified barbed wire. We were saying about if it was possible. We were all chatting, saying, I wonder if it's possible to attach a truck battery to a fence and electrify it, and if that would actually work. And that is actually something we're looking into.
Because I was personally disappointed when DayZ changed the barbed wire. I died to barbed wire so many fucking times. You know, particularly that bug with them when it was on a gate. And it would just still be stuck there, and then you get trapped on it, and you died from it. But it was lethal. It was one of the few things that you could put up. Well, it's the only thing you could put up as a defense that was lethal to a player. If they got caught in that barbed wire, they were dead in seconds. Punji
100%.
There's another one, a punji pit, a trapdoor that you can leave unlocked, and then they walk through your base and they fall through and they get impaled on punji stakes. That's a bloody good idea.
Yeah.
That's evil.
I imagine that would be easy to do.
Yeah, we're going to have to, I think what I'm going to have to do just from the chat, obviously here, and all the ideas that I've seen popping up in chat and what you guys have given me, I'm going to have to go back now to the team and be like, look, this is what people have said. I think we should, you know, look into this and see if we can add this in, because there's a lot of ideas, like I said today, about, you know, all the testing and whatnot on the server. There's a lot of ideas that people come up with that I would never think about.
Johnny Bravo, for electrified barbed wire, could you not use the defibrillator effect when you use it on a conscious player? There's an idea.
Oh.
Yeah. Johnny
See,
Bravo.
there we go. Another idea. There we go. Look, another idea that's popped out.
Can I say as well, those videos you shared, I know you've got them unlisted at the moment, but share them. Put them out as public. I think people would be really interested, and just say, this is beta. You know, do a voiceover, maybe re-edit them, a voiceover. Hi guys, this is Fourth from Base Building Plus. Just wanted to let you guys know what we've been working on in the background, because the inspiration for me getting you on this show was the video showing where you guys were clipping and how much smoother it is now compared to what I remembered. So if you guys did a bit of that, you could generate some serious hype around your mod, because there's a lot of servers out there looking for an alternative to expansion mod.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, if people were on a, I honestly didn't think many people would really be bothered about seeing the videos. But if people want to see them, I'll unlist them and I'll re-edit them. And obviously, like I said, I do plan on doing the little like modding tutorial things as well for people that want to get started. Obviously, I won't do anything too complex straight away, but it'll just be the basics of how I started out. Because obviously, you know, you learn the basics and then you can basically do whatever. So,
well, it'd be a great way for them to get some feedback as well, Brim. Put a video out and say, you know, this is, even if you just put out, hi guys, we're looking for some ideas. Anyone got some ideas for defenses that we could have, that you could, you know, upgrade a wall or something like that? And you just saw I've got 14 people watching me. I'm not sure how many you've got, Brim, but amongst our small little community, we've already given you some ideas. Imagine what the hundreds of thousands of others out there could provide you with the way of ideas to, you know, make Base Building Plus the go-to for base building.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I said, I'm going to take all these ideas. I've actually been writing them down as you've been saying them, and I'll take them back to the team whenever we next talk and be like, look, this is what I've got. This is what people have said. You know, what do you reckon we can add in this amount of time frame? Because obviously we've still got tons to do. But obviously, you know, all the base defenses and whatnot, we'll have to decide, do we want them in the main mod or do we want them in the separate item pack? But obviously, you know, I'm sure that a lot of the people in the chat that have been watching and commenting all this, and you guys as well, are going to see your ideas in the mod. I think it's time for me to step up my game and start grinding out modeling and 3D modeling and texturing, and start getting some of these ideas made.
It's gonna be days and days and days and days and days of modeling and
Yep.
modeling.
Yep, a lot of trial and error. But no, I appreciate you having me on the podcast, and obviously showcasing. I hope everyone's excited for when it releases. But yeah, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I'm just happy to be here and happy to show off what the team's done so far.
And we were honoured to be the place you chose to show it off, mate. It was amazing to watch, wasn't it, Brim?
Yeah, it was really good. It's like you say, it's nice to see that there's going to be a really, really good alternative, to with the base building. Base building is one of those things that's, I think, is a point of contention for a lot of people. So to get a really good base building mod out there, it's already good as it is, but to make the good great is going to be really, really interesting to watch.
I reckon there is a possibility for you guys to do the defenses as a separate mod, because I'm even thinking, we've talked about it a few times, how much I miss the tripwire grenade. I hate landmines with a passion. There's no skill. They're OP. They're just a troll item in the game for the most part. But something like the tripwire grenade was fantastic, because you had to get the sticks, you had to find the wire, you had to get the grenade, you had to craft the tripwire, then you have to unpin the grenade, you have to attach the grenade, make sure you don't trip the wire like I did the first time I set one up. Just little things like that could be fantastic, even on servers like Day One, which don't have bases, they just have stashes. So you could build a few booby traps around your stash, a punji pit, something like that.
Yeah.
A variation on the bloody bear trap.
Yeah, that's the thing that DayZ I feel is lacking, is the defenses. So if we can come up with something to
Be groundbreaking,
make the game more fun and also more annoying at the same time for raiders, I think that would be very, very, very good. Like an addition to a lot of servers.
I think what we lack the most is electronic items. So you have the generator, you have a light. What else would you add to the generator?
One idea I've got for the mod that I come up with is a hydroponic set. So it grows and makes for the basically, if it's a possible thing to do, I'm not sure of the mechanics, but increases the yield of a crop. So it basically acts like a fertilized crop, and you can have it inside, and grows faster, just something different. And Meat Safe is another one I've got, but that's not an electronic one. It's designed for bases that don't have a generator or a solar panel, so that you can store meat and prolong the life of it. I got a question in my chat for you modder guys. Can adding planks to walls or gates create a higher health equal large time to raid? Not in vanilla. Vanilla's stuck with the standard settings, but I'm certain that's with the base building plus mod, there's different tiers. So you can do increased types of walls, from the basic wood to the metal to the concrete, and different tiers within that now.
Yeah, I believe with the with base building plus we have the config, which means you can set the amount of materials it would take to break a certain tier. So I believe it's all server configurable.
Yeah.
That's more like Chopper's End, but I believe that the server owners themselves can change it to basically whatever they want.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks once again, guys. Thank you all so much. Gravity Wolf, as always, welcome. Same goes for you, Fourth. If you're ever watching the show and you've got something you would like to add, any previous guest on the show, we never removed the role. You're welcome to jump back in. You can ambush us like Fubar Bundy did. That was still one of my favorite moments of the podcast.
I'm going to have to go back and find that clip and for our new podcast TikTok, just for shits and giggles.
We were shit talking Fubar Bundy, and he just happened to be watching, and he jumped in and joined the Discord. And that was back in the early days of the podcast, and I actually had it so that he could kick people from the channel as well. I asked everyone to blow me a kiss on my birthday, and he kicked everyone from the channel. It really hurt my feelings. I was like, fuck me. Jesus Christ. That was
so
harsh.
good. We all
I love
thought
that
something
guy.
had gone really wrong with Discord. We were all like, "Oh fuck, everything's broken. What's happened here?" Like Discord's just kicked us all out, and then all of a sudden we join back in, and all you just hear is Fuba like, "Mwahaha, you bastard."
But no, thank you so much, guys. I love doing this, and the feedback from the viewers is all the fuel we need. We love the feedback from you guys, whether it's in chat, on Twitter, in the Discord, or on the comments for the videos. Brim, this is our hobby, mate, but we love doing it, don't we?
Yeah, it's something to look forward to every week, and there's in the world we're living in nowadays at the moment with all the shit that's going on in the world, it's nice to have a little something to look forward to on a weekly basis.
It is. I love doing it. I'm always constantly amazed each and every week. Okay, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. Unfortunately, I can't raid anyone on YouTube. Are you continuing on, Brim?
No, I will be going and raiding someone in a minute as well, because I've got some bits and bobs to sort out.
No worries. Guys, thank you once again. Porth, you're a legend, mate. Keep up the good work. Very excited to see where you go with the mod. Chat, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week when we get to give back to you guys for all the support you've given us over the last 39 weeks with our special Christmas spectacular. Fourth, you are invited to come back and say Merry Christmas to everyone, mate.
Yeah, I'll be sure to.
Awesome. All the best, everyone. Say bye-bye.
Just one last quick thing, actually, while I'm here, very quickly. I've just put in both of our chats there. It's a one-stop shop. It's called Linktree, and it's basically got all the links you need to find anything podcast related. Anywhere you can find it, the Discord, anywhere that we stream it, the YouTube, the SoundCloud, Spotify, everything.
TikTok.
The new TikTok that I've set up.
Brim is managing the TikTok. He's doing the TikToking. Yeah. We're TikTokers now, folks.
We're TikTokers. I can't promise that there won't be any dodgy dancing. It might end up happening at some point. You know what TikTok's like. But quick link there. It's got everything you need.
We need someone to do fucking WeChat and Instagram and all that other shit. It took me forever to learn Twitter, let alone learn fucking all this other stuff.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
WeChat. I don't even know what WeChat is.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know. I think I've heard the word. My son might have mentioned it or something. Snapchat or WeChat or whatever.
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like a Chinese version of Facebook or something similar, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong.
Okay, folks, all the best. We will see you next week. I've got to get some beauty sleep. It's almost 4 a.m. Love you long time, everyone. Say bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.
And ciao for now.